From haunting creatures residing under your bed to giant beasts of our worldly domain, we have a plethora of exciting, intriguing, and captivating videos that would cure your daily cravings of spooky, unresolved mysteries. So, grab your popcorn and come along on this roller coaster journey.
Giant moose. These men, while exploring the woods in Canada and staying there for one night, had a once-in-a-lifetime experience when a giant moose came to pay them a visit. It was 7 meters tall and weighed almost 1,000 pounds. The man, terrified but excited to see the huge animal at the same time, decided to go near it and was standing just a few feet away from the monstrous creature. And even though this one does seem a bit calm, the researchers said that the man clearly put his life in danger, as it's not scared of humans because of their huge size, and they will come straight at them when provoked. Just like here, when a moose, spotting the bow hunter from a distance, came to attack it, and the only thing which saved him from becoming the victim was the lake between them.
Jamaican mermaid. Do you believe in mermaids? If not, then this video will baffle you out of your wits as it captures one of the most wanted enchanted creatures of the fantasy world. It all began when two men were exploring through a river surrounded by thick mangroves in Jamaica. They were casually gossiping around, capturing the essence of nature, recording the glistening water of the river. And then something took them by surprise. A peculiar thing was hiding behind a giant rock, and as soon as they shifted their camera toward it took a sudden dive into the river. The camera kept recording these unusual movements through the shallow, and suddenly the creature plunged out of the river, revealing its lustrous hair. This incident terrified them to their core, and they ran away without having the proper footage of the Jamaican mermaid.
Toddlers and the unseen figure. As the saying goes, children may have a heightened sensitivity to the supernatural world, and a video from a family just might prove this point. The footage, supposedly from a home security camera in the bedroom of 3 toddlers, captures a rather eerie post-nap scene. Instead of waking up happy and playful, the triplet girls seem upset and frightened. They stand together, yelling at an unseen figure with a shrieking and angry tone, directing their attention towards a wall on the opposite side of the room. Throughout the video, they repeatedly point at a particular spot, expressing their dislike for this unseen presence, while some wonder if it's just an overreactive imagination or a sibling's game. Others believe the fear in their voices is genuine.
A group. In this image, it can be seen that there is not just one of the creatures, but 3. This image also makes it look more so like it's wearing a type of clothing as it stretches between leg to leg. One of the scariest parts is that you can't really get any sort of facial recognition. No one has ever been able to explain what is going on in this photo. Someone scary. The figure in this picture is obviously wearing either a really long coat or a gown. It's also hard to tell if you can make out a face or if it's just the leaves creating a pattern. The figure is rather tall as well, making it extra terrifying thinking about the potential that you could run into this in the woods.
An ostrich fight. Did you know that ostriches are the biggest and heaviest birds out there? Even though they're usually harmless and don't bite much, we found a video of one going berserk and attacking a man. A group of guys were just hanging out when suddenly the ostrich went after one of them. Made the bird so angry in the first place, doesn't it? A python. So let's tell you about this wild incident that went down in Thailand. One mom, Thanapum Laken, who's 42, woke up one morning to find their dead kitten in her house with bite marks all over its body. When she went to her son's room to investigate, she found a massive 10-foot python just chilling under the bed. Crazy, right? Well, she didn't waste any time and called for help, and luckily, the authorities were able to catch the python safely. Lekin thinks it's a miracle that her son wasn't sleeping in that room that night, and believes his guardian angel was watching over him. the morning glory clouds. Have you seen these amazing clouds that look like a giant snake in the sky? They're actually a rare meteorological event that only happens in certain parts of the world. This dude managed to capture them over Lake Michigan in the USA. Basically, it happens when the air is really humid in the early morning, and a cloud forms at the front of it, creating the leading edge of a cylinder. Pretty cool, right?
Ominous nightmare. When your eyes suddenly open in the middle of the night, a normal person would usually encounter darkness and peaceful silence surrounding him, wouldn't he? But there are some people who would come across cursed creatures with their dreadful sight and voices haunting the surroundings if their eyes accidentally opened at a specific time, or you can say 3 a.m. In this video, a girl encounters a goat coming from behind the curtain. At first glance, it appears normal, but as the goat opens its mouth, waves of horrific sound reach the eardrums, making one hold his ear. The girl shifts her camera towards the clock, showing the dreadful time of the day, 3 a.m. In the meantime, the goat's shrieking voice, accompanied by the black tentacles coming out of its mouth and glowing eyes, can be seen clearly in the darkness of the night. This scene is truly terrifying for one sight, but the vlogger seems accustomed to this behavior of the goat and calmly closes the door on the goat, completely shutting it out of the room. Skinwalker ghost. The car dash cam footage shows a white figure crossing the road, moving with a strange, almost animalistic gait. As it comes closer to the car, the figure's true nature becomes clear. It's a skinwalker. The skinwalker's skin is matted and unkempt, and its limbs are too long and thin to be human. As the car drives away, the skinwalker disappears into the darkness. The driver is left feeling shaken and unsure of what they just witnessed. Skinwalkers are said to be powerful and dangerous shapeshifters in Navajo culture, able to take on the form of any animal they desire. Crossing paths with one is considered a bad omen, and many people believe that seeing a skinwalker can bring misfortune or death. The vicious rattlesnake. From the deadliest creatures of the outer realm to the wild, slithering animals of our domain, the world is full of vicious encounters. Just like in this video, a man showcases the true nature of a rattlesnake. With its intense buzzing sounds, the rattlesnake was generating a sense of fear in its surroundings. Unafraid of the vicious trap of the rattlesnake, the man kept recording the dreadful species. Its glaring eyes remained fixated on the intrusive man. The apparent wrath in his cold eyes was enough to devour any dwelling prey, and its continuous rattling tail was enough to haunt nearby creatures. Aware of the lurking danger, the daring man, being cautious of actions, kept recording this reptile as he was fascinated by its constant rattles.
Mysterious highway encounter. Imagine cruising along a busy highway, minding your own business, when something bizarre unfolds before your eyes. A driver's camera captures an unexpected scene that leaves them utterly bewildered. As they round a curve, a van approaches from the opposite direction. Watch closely as a man suddenly materializes on the road, seemingly falling from an unknown location. The vehicle's doors never open, ruling out the possibility of him falling from it. Speculations run wild. Did a portal appear, transporting him onto the road? Or does he possess extraordinary powers? Without knowing the man's identity or the full story, we're left pondering the unexplainable. A weird encounter in Washington, D.C. This curious incident in Washington, D.C. on December 19, 2018 has left many pondering the possibility of an extraterrestrial encounter. The footage starts with various clips showing the evening sky around the city. What caught everyone's attention was a peculiar triangle-shaped object hovering over the Pentagon. Although some angles made it hard to see, the enigmatic presence was undeniable.
A woman stabbing herself. This video is sure to send shivers down your spine. A person was driving late at night when they stumbled upon a chilling and bizarre sight. In the middle of the road was a ghostly woman with a knife in her hand, who appeared to be stabbing herself. The driver was so taken aback by the horror of the situation that they chose to turn back and quickly distance themselves from the ghostly figure. Imagine what you would have done if you were to come across this scene. A creature in the yard. Two friends were recording in their yard late at night when they spotted a strange and frightening creature. The humanoid figure stood in their yard for a few minutes, observing them or perhaps searching for a way inside. Despite the creature's intimidating presence, the friends stayed put and kept recording. Suddenly, the creature disappeared into the darkness, leaving the friends to think it was gone for good. However, to their horror, the creature returned after a minute, approaching them a little closer before finally leaving for good. The experience left the friends terrified, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. They shared the footage of the mysterious creature in the hopes of finding answers and discovering what it was.
Dead alienoid. Alien or not, death surely doesn't spare anyone. Texas farmers who had lost several of their chickens due to numerous animal attacks decided to lay down a bait to draw out the animal. Upon doing so, they noticed a very unusual looking animal in the fields who took the bait in a manner similar to the attack on the chickens. One of the farmers, either pissed or terrified of this alienoid, fired at it, but it managed to escape. After following the bloody trail closely, the alien animal was later found dead next to a tiny bush after having bled out due to the critical wound.
Up there, by the trees.
With the proliferation of cameras just about everywhere, more and more weird stuff is captured by the camera's all-seeing lens. From freaky, wild creatures of dark nights to the oddly mythical figures of woods, while others are totally unbelievable. Here's the most disturbing trail cam footage that no one was supposed to see. Disappearing man. Imagine installing a camera to capture some wild moments on a snowy night, but you come across this. A bizarre hunched-over figure with glowing eyes suddenly emerged from the dark and could be seen running to the left side of the ground, and then disappeared instantly. Nowhere. It might have merged into thin air. Was it really a ghoul captured running at midnight, or was it just a hoax? To me, there was something really mysterious, as the dog sitting in the corner could be noticed turning its head in the direction of the running figure. What do you guys think? A beach ball lover. Deer often use their antlers for defensive purposes, but sometimes they use them to carry stuff, like this deer who has a ball between his antlers. But whether this was done intentionally or by accident is still unknown, though the deer does look like it's enjoying it a lot. Bernie Sanders. Is that Bernie Sanders wearing mittens sitting in a chair? Or is some otherworldly being captured by the trail cam? Because the way it's sitting so calmly with wild cats and what looks like a wolf around him is something not a normal human being can do. Don't you think so? 2 lovebirds. Ever wondered what cats do in the middle of the night when their owners are asleep? Well, apparently, they like to meet up with their significant others and have a romantic encounter under the stars. Just ask these two, who are seemingly kissing like teenagers in love.
Eerie encounters. One dark and stormy night, our security cameras recorded being truly crazy. As the rain cast the windows, the camera's alert eyes caught a series of unexplained, creepy events that transferred shivers down our spines. First, a mysterious figure appeared in the backyard, masked in dark. It moved like a ghostly wisp, making no sound and leaving no trace. We watched in unbelief as it wandered through the theater, dissolving into thin air. Next, camera picked up unaccountable spheres of light floating through the living room. These immaterial spheres danced and flicked, illustrating the dark corners of the way before dissolving without a trail. To make effects indeed creepier, a strange, unearthly noise sounded through the empty hallway. Transferring the family into a fury. The camera captured their alarmed responses as they goggled at the unnoticeable intruder. These unexplained, weird circumstances continue to hang security footage, leaving us both beat and scarified with no reasonable explanation in sight.
Ancient creature. This one odd-looking creature was caught at a small town in Russia in the year 2018. Caught along the cornfield, the farmer stated that he was returning home after a hectic day when he spotted this freaking head coming out of the soil, and then digging a bit deeper, he unearthed the whole thing, and it turned out to be even more bizarre. With its weird eyes and even weirder torso, it looked like an unidentified prehistoric animal that was caught buried. And even though the scientist immediately took it for examination, nothing has been revealed by them, which made it look even more suspicious. Mysterious girl. With all of her feet covered in the muddy water, the woman facing the other direction was spotted by construction workers. It happened in one of the woodlands of Spain when a group of construction workers came across a strange-looking woman, calling her several times and receiving no response. Already scared of the weird lady, they packed their bags and returned back the other day, but found nothing there. But trying to solve the mystery on their own, many people called it La Llorona, which is believed to be the spirit of a woman whose children were drowned and killed by the people. Therefore, looking for them since the colonial period, the mythical witch is supposed to roam around water bodies.
Lost in the shadows. If we let our imagination run wild, this photo could lead us to a whimsical tale. It's almost as if the coyote is having a conversation with the girl, telling her they found something strange in the woods. Living together with the pack in this mystical woodland, she follows the coyote's lead to investigate. They discuss the curious find, and she realizes it's just a camera. In this make-believe scenario, they retreat into the woods, continuing their harmonious coexistence. Of course, in reality, none of this can happen. So we're left pondering the true story behind the photo. What exactly is unfolding between the girl and the coyote? Playful spirits. At the beginning of the video, our attention is immediately captured by the peculiar sight of a hospital bed moving on its own. At first glance, one might think it's just a gentle breeze causing the movement. But upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that the bed's actions are erratic and seemingly independent. The absence of any other movement in the surroundings, like twigs or leaves, only highlights the unusual nature of this phenomenon. Rather than being influenced by external forces, it appears as though an unknown entity is playfully engaging with the hospital bed.
Slender Man. In 2018, two friends and a little girl were traveling across states when they bumped into an abnormality, tall and suspicious-looking man referred to as the Slender Man. The Slender Man appeared in the middle of them, making the driver turn off-road and into the grass before stopping. Seconds later, the camera blacked out and started recording once again, showing the Slender Man walking in the woods with the little girl. One of the two friends went missing, while the other was able to find the little girl with a note left behind probably by the Slender Man. Till date, authorities haven't been able to figure out who or where this tall being came from. Creepy cryptid encounter. Is this a bird of some kind or just a horribly looking rodent? While out for an adventure, a tourist encountered a creepy looking animal that was hiding behind a dried-up tree trunk in the Appalachian Mountains of North America. Its face looked as if it were deformed with something like a beak on the face. The intentions of this animal were unclear, as it never moved much besides keeping the eyes locked onto the recorder. With the behavior as such, the tourist described it to be an unrecognizable animal that was later pronounced to be a cryptid.
A tree face. Strange figure in the sky. What would you do if you were simply trying to take in the sights when you suddenly notice this bizarre creature gently descending from the sky? According to the man who recorded the video, the strange figure appeared to be a man gliding through the sky before slowly descending to an unknown location in California. If you look at the clip, It's not really surprising that the man would think that he saw someone descending from high in the sky, because that silhouette really looks like it belongs to a person standing upright. What do you think this one is? Could this be God himself, an alien, or just an airplane mistaken for another entity? The man testified that it couldn't be a balloon or a drone, as he lives near to an airport where these types of flying items are strictly not allowed.
Glowing-eyed mummy chase. Just by looking at the glowing eyes, you can know this certainly is no hoax. In September 2019, two colleagues were returning from work in their car when a manly figure in the dark started sprinting parallel to them. Seconds later, the ghostly figure closed in towards the light, revealing its final form. It seemed to look like a mummy with glowing eyes and an incredible speed. First, it got closer to them and then attempted to jump into the vehicle when the driver was able to speed away. This certainly could not be a human, but a mummy that may have gotten possessed by a supernatural entity. Ghost attempts to hide. Either this ghost dozed off into the water or it was attempting to hide itself. A trail camera planted on a bridge next to a haunted house captured footage of a ghost that tripped into a small stream. The camera was placed in the area to investigate the cause of disturbance in the area in the dead of night. After reviewing the footage, many believe that this would rather be a cause of a young woman being possessed by a ghost. Flying humanoid. If the furry humanoids weren't spooky enough, you now have one that can fly. Two young boys, while playing in the backyard of a farm in Kent, United Kingdom, noticed a weird-looking hive. With their father filming the video, they got closer to the hive when a flying bug came out of the hive. At first, it was thought to be a firefly or a dragonfly, but seconds later they could notice that this bug is humanoid. From arms to legs, it had a body structure completely similar to that of a human with wings to fly. As it came flying out, the father and the kids reacted by fleeing away. Since the footage has gone viral, many call it a real-life fairy. Forest zombie. This looks to be either a zombie or a clown, or perhaps both. After numerous reports of something haunting a small part of a forest in Ontario, Canada, paranormal investigators decided to investigate. After several hours of searching, they weren't able to find any ghosts, but rather a zombified being that was stalking them from a distance. Upon one of the paranormal investigators spotting this haunting figure, it quickly escaped behind the tree and into the darkness. It had sparkly eyes, clown-like makeup, sharp reflexes, and not to mention huge in size. Imagine the horror of such a nightmare ambushing you.
The mysterious white ball. One dark and quiet night, a trail camera placed in front of a house managed to catch existent truly mysterious. The camera's lens captured a strange, glowing white ball floating through the night sky. It moved with a creepy grace, nearly like a ghostly sphere. The sight was both alluring and puzzling, leaving the curious homeowner and anyone who saw the footage wondering about its origin and purpose. As the footage played out, it appeared as though the spiritual ball was on its own secret trip, gliding through the air in a way that defied explanation. The night's blanket added an air of secret, making it look truly more paranormal. Could it have been a slapdash balloon, a rare natural miracle, or being beyond our understanding? The enigmatic ball's appearance left the spectators with a sense of wonder and a touch of confusion as they pondered the secrets of the night sky. The nightly search for Mothman. On a dark and spooky night, a group of courageous investigators set out on a thrilling adventure to find the mysterious beast known as Mothman. Armed with flashlights and a sense of curiosity, they ventured into the creepy forest, guided only by the faint light of the moon. As they shoveled deeper into the dark, their hearts pounded with both excitement and fear. Every rustling flake and hooting owl transferred shakes down their spines, but their determination held them concerned. They participated tales of Mothman's creepy scrapes, which only fueled their search. Yet the slippery Mothman remained one step ahead, playing a clever game of hide and seek. The investigators chased after flashcasts and creepy sounds, but each time, Mothman sounded to disappear into the night.
What was that? hurt something. What was that? I heard something.
The night's adventure, full of expectation and suspension, left the investigators with a deeper puzzle to break, realizing that some secrets are best left to the imagination, hidden in the deep discipline of the night.
You're lighting it up like the 4th of July. Right.
Spooky werewolf. Have you ever been into the woods alone? Well, if not, then you must hold your breath, as this short clip will definitely stop you from doing so. Filmed at an undisclosed location, this footage shows a guy trying to get close to an animal to whom he thought was a grizzly bear. Right at that moment, the beast started running toward him, and the video suddenly ended there, leaving everyone questioning about the beast. There is a possibility of a werewolf sighting, as upon looking at the huge appearance, the creature didn't seem like a bear to me.
A bulldog versus mountain lion. In the midst of a rugged mountain, a trail camera captures a predator mercilessly hunting its prey on a quiet, eerie night. Unexpectedly, another fierce predator appears, observing the same scene. Initially, a wild lion is seen devouring its meal until a bulldog meanders into the perilous territory. While the camera focuses on the bulldog exploring the area with confidence, it remains oblivious to the lurking danger of a stronger, more cunning force watching its every move. Like a looming shadow, the eyes of the mountain lion fixate on the unsuspecting bulldog, waiting to pounce on the intruder. In a swift and silent move, the mountain lion leaps towards the bulldog, leaving the video's conclusion uncertain, whether the bulldog escaped or fell prey to the mountain lion's attack.
A glitch in the Matrix. A person recently managed to record a clip of a plane stuck mid-air on camera. It seems like the airplane has stopped moving due to a simulation glitch and is just floating in the sky. The bizarre footage originally surfaced on TikTok, but gradually spread across various social media platforms. Though this is not the first time that such a phenomenon has been caught on camera and has baffled netizens. Such glitches have happened before and have always shocked the onlookers. A bouncing manhole. What are your first thoughts when you see the video? Is it a ghost, a scary clown, or an air bubble? To me, it looked like something out of a scary movie. You try going near and someone will pull you inside. But according to the man who recorded it, an air bubble is likely to blame, because manholes can sometimes make noise or move around when sometimes the water is pushed around and the air moves.
An old woman. This picture is one of the clearest on the list, which isn't necessarily a good thing. We can easily make out from this picture that this is either a creature wearing a nightgown or an old woman walking around outside alone at night in her pajamas. Either way, it isn't good and is rather unsettling for anyone planning on traveling in the woods anytime soon. A huge gorilla. While the couple was on vacation having a good time, they were not expecting such a disaster to happen. While taking a selfie together, their camera happened to capture a huge gorilla clinging on a tower behind them. Was it a real King Kong? Are they real? Or is it just an altered video? What do you guys think? We can even see them freaking out and everyone running to save their lives. So, what exactly happened here?
Giant Tarzan. A sighting such as this is probably a dream come true for all the Tarzan fans. A construction worker in Minnesota, while on a break, saw that this very tall man, who was caught by the magnificence of modern construction, it looked almost naked, covered only by a dark piece of clothing with a height twice to that of an average person. As one of the construction workers riding on his bicycle passed by that point, this real-life Tarzan suddenly disappeared. Since the footage was taken from quite a distance, the tall man wasn't identified properly. Pained Ghost Yoda. Facing off a pissed Yoda is more dangerous than all other scary creatures in the dark. A cowboy on a horse was passing through woods while looking at some missing cattle, bumped into a tiny being having similarity to that of a Yoda from Star Wars. This Yoda, resembling a ghost, was running towards the cowboy while aggressively stabbing its sharp cane on the ground. It began to gain pace upon closing in, and due to the fear of the unknown, the man responded by fleeing. While the actual intentions of the caned ghost Yoda may remain a mystery, it definitely couldn't be any good.
A witch. This spooky video was recorded in Mexico in 2006. You can see a mysterious figure flying through the sky on a broomstick. Some people think it's a witch. The locals had been talking about these witches for ages, but nobody had any proof until this footage was taken. The witch's flight looks a bit shaky, so maybe she's a new witch still practicing her flying skills. The subscribers pick. This image was taken from a video which shows some researchers doing something strange. You can see a group of people dressed in white and yellow on a deserted beach. They seem to be picking up something from the ground and putting it on a stretcher before taking it away. And of course, we can even see the tail of a creature in the video, which only points in one direction. A mermaid! How crazy is that? A floating girl. A Russian man was filming his dog while they were exploring the woods. Suddenly, the dog ran away to one side, and the man followed to see where the dog had gone. To his shock and surprise, he encountered a strange and frightening scene. A little girl was floating in the air while a woman who appeared to be her mother was standing nearby looking up at her. The man was frightened by the strange sight. As soon as they noticed the man, the girl came down to the ground, and both the girl and the woman quickly ran away. The man was left stunned and bewildered, unsure of what he had just witnessed and what it all meant. Gladly, the incident was recorded and has since been the subject of much speculation and intrigue.
A wicked child. A ghost hunter set out on his other deadly venture. He chose a dilapidated house, torn and ruined brutally throughout its surroundings. His adventure began filming the wreckage of that seemingly haunted place. The air was filled with untamed voices, howls of wild beasts, and deadly shrieks of unannounced creatures, all turning into a satanic clamor. With his torchlight, he began hunting for its prized possession, and in no time his camera caught something unruly, something vicious. It was a haunted figure that almost looked like a child with demonic ears. With its long hair, that set behind its elf-like ears, the eerie creature stood still for a while, unveiling his demonic presence in front of the camera, and then quickly hid behind the wreckage. The hunter followed him around the house, but all in vain. It looked as if the haunted creature wasn't shy of the camera, and it only wanted to cast his satanic presence over the hunter.
Mysterious glitch in reality. In this bizarre footage shared on social media, a man innocently walks down a flight of steps, completely unaware of the spine-chilling event about to unfold. As he steps onto the pavement, something truly eerie happens. Out of nowhere, he trips over a woman's motionless body lying on the ground. The video replays twice, once in slow motion and then with a close-up of the mysterious still figure. People often refer to such inexplicable events as a glitch in the matrix, where reality seems to warp momentarily beyond explanation. The woman's sudden appearance and her eerily lifeless state have left viewers puzzled. So, what do you think? Watch the video and let us know your thoughts on this perplexing and haunting mystery.
Creepy Krawalis captured on trail cam. In the quiet darkness of the forest, hidden from natural eyes, being mysterious was passing. Trail cameras, like silent guardians, were landing the secrets of the night. These were not ordinary night scenes. They were filled with creepy crawlies that made your skin twinge with conspiracy and shivers. Imagine a moonlit night, where black stepped and leaves whispered secrets. Suddenly, the trail camera caught a spider spinning its intricate web, glistering with dew. The creepy silence was broken by the soft fluttering of nightsticks, captured flight in their search for prey. The camera's lens revealed slippery critters like owls, their eyes flashing like burning coals, and a curious raccoon scavenging for night snacks. As the night wore on, the trail camera's observant eye disclosed a world, many ever confirmation. It was a spine-clinking trip into the quiet nightly life of the forest, where creepy crawlies took center stage, and the darkness held its secrets nearby.
A terrifying encounter. In the darkness of the woods, two brave souls ventured out, seeking thrills under the moon's watchful gaze, unaware of the malevolent presence lurking in the shadows. They ignited their fireworks, believing they were alone and undisturbed. Suddenly, amid the night stillness, blood-curdling shrieks pierced the air, sending chills down their spines. Fear gripped their hearts as they were compelled to investigate the source of the horrifying sounds.
Is he still there?
Go! No! Run!
What they encountered defied all reason and chilled them to the core. A mysterious, otherworldly being emerged before their terrified eyes, its presence shrouded in darkness. In a heartbeat, their carefree adventure turned into a nightmarish encounter with the unknown.
Coffins of Saqqara. Found inside the tomb of Saqqara are buried the rarest and the most fascinating coffins. An archaeologist was shocked when he accidentally found a chamber of huge figurines that were buried there about 2,000 years ago. And when they went inside, the archaeologist was surprised to see hundreds of them placed inside the chamber. And not alone, they were placed along with gilded masks and falcons and a lot of other antique things that showed signs of wealth, as no ordinary people were inside those coffins. Some of them were kings and queens of the 2,000-year-old world, and that proves that Saqqara was once a land of great importance. Egyptian witch. A man decided to visit a cave to see the ancient witch that is believed to be living there. At first, he was disappointed to have not spotted anything, but on his way back, he was shocked to see a creature sitting on the abandoned side of the mountain. The creature, or must I say the womanly beast wearing black clothes, had a strange appearance. Holding a stick made of animal skull, the cryptid's face was all covered. Furious for being followed by the man, the witch went inside, and even from a distance, it was clear that she was casting some sort of spell. Clearly for this reason, as she didn't want the boy to leave there alive.
A chupacabra. These two men kept hearing strange voices from their backyard and eventually decided to go check. But what they did not know was that they were in for a surprise. A huge monster was seen running to hide from them, but that did not stop the friends there. They had to go check, and that is when we see the terrifying face. The video ends right there, so let's just hope both of them are okay.
Bursting pool. Right in the middle of the desert, there's lava popping out, and it looks like it's about to explode on the onlookers' faces. But what is it? This question has been baffling people for so long. Some said it was the pit of the Sarlacc, a beast believed to be living beneath the desert sands. The others called it a desert monster coming out of its hiding place. But in reality, it's actually neither of these, as it was a small reserve of oil found in the middle of Egypt's desert. And due to extreme heat, the oil looked like it was about to burst out of the small hole. Sleeping girl. Looking like a sleeping child, the girl shocked the archaeologists when it was caught, because it felt like the girl would open its eyes at any moment. But actually, she had been dead for about 1,200 years, and was perfectly preserved, which muddled the researcher too. But her history is even more baffling. The girl was a teenager when she was sacrificed as a common religious practice of that time. Found in her hair were the signs of consuming alcohol and cocoa, which were given to her as a way to persuade her for the sacrifice, which actually means that she was drugged before the ritual took place.
Hunting gone wrong. A hunter holding his gun upright, pointing at its aim, was breathing heavily in a dense forest filled with vicious creatures and deadly beasts. With shaking hands, he kept walking towards thick bushes. To end our curiosities, a giant grizzly bear plunged out of the bushes, slowly made its way toward the man, and then hid again behind dense foliage. One must have thought that the hunter could quickly escape this terrible situation had he used his gun correctly. But there's more to the scene as another grizzly bear cub pops from a bush. According to the hunter, there were 3 cubs with their mother bear. Thus, it would have been inhumane for him to shoot her, as the mother was being protective of his kids. creepy humanoid. The home's CCTV captured a mysterious and eerie creature moving like a crab, walking on 4 bent legs across the road. Its appearance was unsettling and strange, leaving viewers puzzled about its identity. The sight was rare and enigmatic, sparking various speculations. Some thought it was a mutant dog, others suspected it to be a creepy alien. This moment filled anyone who saw it with fear and mystery. On the other hand, some strongly believed it resembled a ghoul, a demon-like or monstrous humanoid rooted in pre-Islamic Arabian religion. In modern stories, a ghoul typically refers to an undead humanoid creature that feeds on human flesh, quite horrifying and terrifying. However, the true nature of this cryptic creature remains a creepy mystery, giving chills to the camera operator and those nearby. The secret of this eerie being remains undisclosed, leaving everyone with a lingering sense of unease.
Catching birds for dinner. A simple fact that gorillas are not known to hunt birds is enough to say that this isn't something normal. A video recorded in March 2016 by a fisherman who was returning from a catch shows a huge furry animal on top of a pole. This furry animal was attempting to catch seagulls flying nearby. Upon capturing one of them, it started bashing the seagull aggressively on the pole, presenting its incredible strength, and started eating minutes later. As it was able to climb tall, narrow poles easily, many speculated that it could be a gorilla, but honestly, it seems like a really hungry Bigfoot. Groot-like creature. If Groot has an evil twin, this probably has to be it. A Virginia family of 3 went out for trekking in the nearby forest where they noticed a tall, dark man-like tree that also happened to be staring at them. The parents commented that they felt like being followed by an unknown stalker hours after entering the forest. Coincidentally, they happened to notice the same tree, despite moving for several hours, which raised their suspicion. Interestingly, the tree creature didn't seem to have any footsteps left behind and remained stationary until it was seen moving slowly. Could it be that a tree somehow came to life, or is it an outer Earth visitor?
An open grave. While paying a visit to his loved ones in the cemetery, a guy stumbled upon something peculiar. He noticed a grave that was partially open and seemed like it was being destroyed. As he went closer, he was taken aback to see the remains of a body buried there, including a tall skeleton that was around 1.8 meters tall. But that wasn't all. There were other skulls and bones inside the grave, which hinted at some sort of witchcraft. However, nothing was ever really explained or cleared up. A mountain witch. This video features a man named Hassan, who is an explorer of witches. He voluntarily searches for witches, and in this particular video, he visits a witch mountain to find one. To his surprise, he actually spots a witch dressed in black clothes and holding a stick, which seems to be made from an animal skull. Initially, she was sitting at the cave entrance, but when she saw the YouTuber, she went inside and started mumbling some spells. Suddenly, a stone hit Hassan's face, which was a signal for him to back off as the witch didn't want to be disturbed.
Vampire doll. There are some people who enjoy horror films and other frightful things. In fact, some people voluntarily collect haunted dolls. This particular doll is perhaps one of the creepiest because of its horrible and frightful characteristics, which make it resemble a genuine infant. It is even known in some circles as the Devil's Doll. Aside from the puppet's terrifying face, which also has tiny fangs, it appears to be alive because its eyes followed the camera while it was being filmed. And given that the puppet was sitting on top of a tombstone while being filmed, I mean, come on, who wouldn't be horrified by this? Thousands of people were terrified when this video first appeared on the internet. And I'm sure you can buy one of these offline, but be careful not to buy a haunted one because they might come with a free spirit. The good news is that this vampire doll is just a doll and not actually alive. And those moving eyes have gotta be one of its best-selling features. Flying Colugo. This strange-looking animal you're watching now is called a colugo, and if they hadn't been captured on camera, I'm sure it would have continued to exist as a terrifying, mythical creature. I mean, look at the thing. It's clingy, huge, loud, and it's got webbed hands and legs. There's not a single thing about this thing that I find cute. The one in this video had a distinctive pattern and clung to this man's bulldozer. Hyena steals prey. Leopards are famous for carrying prey way heavier than their own weight and are often seen dragging their recent kill up onto trees, doing this to avoid any chances of their meal scavenged by other wild animals. But this technique does not seem to work with the hyenas, as spotting the limbs of the dead deer hanging from the fork of the tree and jumping higher to catch it, the hyena was struggling hard to get a hold of the prey. That would be enough to feed its hungry cubs. And then, finally, after several attempts, the hyena was able to drag it down on the ground while the leopard stood frozen on top. Caved creature. Upon hearing many rumors of an unknown monster living inside one of the caves in the jungle, this team of explorers decided to go and look for it. And then, setting up the camera at the entrance of the cave, as the group went inside, they saw this terrifying-looking creature coming from inside. Rushing towards the men, it came to attack them, but luckily spotting it on time, the group made it out alive, but could never know what that caved creature was. So, is it true that there are animals out there which are yet to be explored, or do you have a better explanation? While we like to assume that such creatures are hiding somewhere in the deep, dark forests and will probably never come out of their habitation, caught on trail cameras several times, they often reveal their faces. And this time in Idaho, a trail camera captured a skinwalker coming out of the woods. It had a gray, hairless body with glowing eyes. Crouching on the forest ground, the mythical creature had its mouth wide open, as if it was going to attack the camera. And even here, even though half of its features could be seen, they were enough to determine that it was again a skinwalker caught in front of a house. Or was it coming from inside of the house after a brutal attack? What do you guys say? A walking bear. For those of you who think bears walking is something normal, wait till you see this one. This bear sparked a mystery in the whole of New Jersey when it was always seen walking upright. It is not something bears usually do, so some people were quick to say that it wasn't a bear, but something else. But then, after careful investigation of the matter, it was revealed that the bear had his front paw injured, and this was why it couldn't walk normally.
Slender Man. In 2018, two friends and a little girl were traveling across states when they bumped into an abnormality, tall and suspicious-looking man referred to as the Slender Man. The Slender Man appeared in the middle of them, making the driver turn off-road and into the grass before stopping. Seconds later, the camera blacked out and started recording once again, showing the Slender Man walking in the woods with the little girl. One of the two friends went missing, while the other was able to find the little girl with a note left behind probably by the Slender Man. Till date, authorities haven't been able to figure out who or where this tall being came from. Creepy cryptid encounter. Is this a bird of some kind or just a horribly looking rodent? While out for an adventure, a tourist encountered a creepy looking animal that was hiding behind a dried up tree trunk in the Appalachian Mountains of North America. Its face looked as if it were deformed with something like a beak on the face. The intentions of this animal were unclear, as it never moved much besides keeping the eyes locked onto the recorder. With the behavior as such, the tourist described it to be an unrecognizable animal that was later pronounced to be a cryptid. Skinwalker attack in woods.
Oh.
If you hear an unsettling humming sound, it's probably for the best to stand clear of it. A man, while driving on the outskirts of Montana, stopped for a cigarette break when he heard a very unsettling humming sound all of a sudden. Out of curiosity, the man entered the woods to find the source of the sound when a skinny, fast-moving skinwalker appeared from nowhere in pursuit of the man, almost as if it were a predator. What happened next remains a mystery. However, the fact that this video made it to the internet shows that the man who recorded the footage may have survived.
Bigfoot's menace. Mythical creatures are usually imagined as symbols, guardians, and breathtaking figures in folklore. But among this visual splendor, there are other creatures so hideous and horrific that one wants to run away as far as possible. In the dimly lit security footage, an astonishing and creepy scene unfolds, where a figure in the rear view resembling the legendary Bigfoot can be seen throwing a heavy rock onto the nearby skunk, probably unaware of the terrific presence near him. The stone arcs through the air, narrowly missing its target. Startled by the sudden attack, the skunk darts away quickly. The footage captures a truly extraordinary moment, offering a horrific glimpse of such a creature. The forest secret. In a quiet and peaceful forest, far down from the noise and rush of people, a secret problem was affecting the safety of some hens living there. Being dangerous was sneaking in the dark, putting the hens at danger. The forest had always been a safe place for these birds, but one by one they were fading without anyone knowing why. To fence the hens, someone who looked out about them decided to take action. They set up a clever trap in the resort of catching the mysterious beast responsible for the hens' losses. They placed delicious grains and seeds inside the trap to attract the unknown violator. To catch this mysterious troublemaker in the act, the smart person initiated small alert cameras each around the forest. These little cameras were ready to record any wrongdoing by the offender. The forest now turned into a platform, with the trap and cameras acting as tools to bring justice. The charge to cover the hens had begun, and the entire forest was eager to break the enigma that had been bothering it.
Alien Scout. The appearance of the UFOs and alien sightings such as these are surely not a mere coincidence. A couple along with their neighbors were camping nearby the Big Bear Lake in California, when a tiny possum-like being made a sudden appearance, catching them all by surprise. According to the witnesses, it had a physical appearance similar to that of a fictional character, Dobby from the Harry Potter movies, but was a bit too green. As the wildlife experts are trying to make sense of the incident, many debated that this could be an alien scout, especially due to a UFO sighting the previous day. Cryptid caught on camera. Cryptid or not, even they tend to make mistakes and get seen. An explorer, while placing his trail camera in a mountain forest somewhere in the United States, found a mysterious shadowy figure. It was seen curiously peeking out from next to a broad tree trunk and got caught on the camera that was still recording. Although it didn't show any sinister intentions, the cameraman quickly ran away from the area. The fact that the nature of this being is unknown and you never know what it might be capable of, he instinctively decided to run away. The figure remains a complete mystery, despite widespread online exposure.
Alligator ambush. Notorious for its lethal death rolls, a giant alligator was spotted by the authorities in some water park, wandering through the fields unattended. 2 men were sent by the authorities to handle this savage beast. They tried to capture it by blindfolding his eyes using a white cloth. This scheme didn't go according to the plan, and the man who was all set to grab his tail from behind fell into the alligator's trap. The moment he tried to have hold of his tail, the alligator snapped at him, grabbed him by his shirt, and bit his hand. Though the grip was loose, the man managed to escape the wrath of this unruly beast.
Mysterious cryptid sightings. This intriguing clip has been making rounds on the internet for several years, appearing in various forms. The video's location remains uncertain, with many believing it was filmed in Mexico. Let's take a closer look at what's been freaking people out. The footage shows a creature lurking in the shadows, covered in fur and appearing bipedal. Suddenly, it dashes away at an astonishing speed, leaving viewers both amazed and spooked. Despite numerous speculations over the years, the true nature of this mysterious creature remains unknown. Some believe it could be a remarkable CGI creation, while others, meticulously analyzing the frames, think it might be a genuine cryptid sighting.
Great white shark. You know what's scarier than a shark in a horror movie? A real-life great white shark. These bad boys can grow up to 20 feet long and have a bite force that can crush bones. And let's not forget about their famous razor-sharp teeth. One bite from these guys can be deadly. So the next time you're swimming in the ocean, remember to keep your eyes peeled for the great white shark, the ultimate predator of the sea. Redback spider. These pesky little creatures are found all over Australia, and their bite can be a real pain. Their venom is no joke. It can make you feel like your whole body's on fire. That's why it's important to keep an eye out for these sneaky spiders and make sure you're not their next victim. But here's the thing. As much as we may dislike them, redback spiders are actually pretty fascinating creatures. They're part of the widow spider family, and their females are notorious for eating their male counterparts after mating. Talk about a bad breakup. Tiger shark. Check out the tiger shark, a big bad predator of the ocean. These bad boys have been known to attack humans and are one of the most dangerous sharks out there. With their razor-sharp teeth and incredible hunting abilities, they're a force to be reckoned with. If you see one in the water, it's best to give them plenty of space and let them do their thing.
Deer with crooked neck. Driving on a forested road, this driver came across a deer, which felt like a normal occurrence at the start, but turned out to be a terrifying experience for the driver. As, spooked by the car and its bright headlights, the deer hopped around the road and suddenly went into the bushes. And that's how it came back. Yeah, with a curved neck, standing in front of the camera for some time and then running in the other direction, leaving some baffled and some sure it was a skinwalker that suddenly came in the deer's body, and leaving many terrified to go into the woods alone. The spooky deer was never seen again. Road crossing Yeti. A man, while driving through a road surrounded by the dark forest, had to pull the brakes instantly. Why? That odd creature sitting in the middle of the road is your answer. Spotting it from a little distance, at first, the man thought that it was a man in need of help, but stopping his car there, right when he was about to get out of the car, the cryptid started crawling from the road toward the bushes. Even though a little blurry, the creepy features of the crawler are enough to scare anyone out. And posted in the year 2021, till now, nothing about its true identity has been revealed by authorities. So, what was it? Let me know your thoughts below.
Glaring eyes. Trail cam footage has been making headlines. However, the spotlight isn't on the animal captured by it, but on an enigmatic presence that the unblinking lens inadvertently revealed. In the vast fields of the forest, amidst the lurking darkness, an innocent deer could be seen grazing peacefully through the meadows. I know nothing exciting, but here comes the spooky part. If you focus on the left side of the footage, you'll see two large glowing eyes glaring through the darkness of the forest. These giant eyes kept revealing themselves for quite a few minutes, and then they suddenly disappeared into the darkness. This strange footage raised many questions about the creature hiding behind woods. Some claimed it to be Bigfoot's glowing eyes, whereas some pointed it as a forest curse dwelling through the fields. What do you guys think? Do let us know about your theories. A waddling creature. A driver recording his journey through the wilderness of the forest came across something peculiar and strange on his way. Through the bumpy road, in the middle of the forest, a moving object at the side of the road playing with the puddle caught the driver's attention from afar. Hence, on coming close to that creature, the driver zoomed in, and as soon as it began driving across it, this dark-colored creature swiftly sprinted into the woods with a dangling gait. Unaware of the nature of this peculiar animal, the driver kept recording it while driving past it. Now, coming to the question of the nature of this wild animal, if you look closely at it, you'd find white stripes across it, making it look like a wild skunk and not an eerie creature. The skunk, upon seeing the driver, ran into the woods as they are protective of their surroundings.
Ghost hunting adventures at Stanley Palace. On a daring quest to explore the mysterious secrets of Stanley Palace in Chester, England, two fearless ghost hunters embarked on a chilling journey. This 16th century mansion, built on an old priory site, holds a dark and haunted past with reports of paranormal activity spanning from ghostly apparitions to mysterious sounds of children. As they navigated the haunted halls, they unknowingly became part of a bone-chilling encounter. Later, upon reviewing the recorded footage, they were shocked to discover a startling revelation: a ghostly face peering over the balustrade, observing them from above. The presence of this ethereal visage only deepens the enigma surrounding Stanley Palace and raises questions about its haunted history.
There are times when the unknown happens in woods, from alien-like creatures and weird mutant deers to the creatures who attack humans and tiny gray creatures in the woods. Here are the most disturbing encounters caught on cameras. A giant. It looks like a giant with a sharp weapon or something in his hand, walking as if it's finding prey to kill and eat. But wait, giants aren't real, right? Or maybe they are. Maybe we just don't know much about them. With so many weird things happening, anything can be possible. A weird deer. Well, a man was busy recording a deer who appeared to be scared of him at first, but then suddenly stopped, as if it was scared of something, and then turned back and went hopping away beside the man. He was all confused, just like anyone would be. But then he saw something that scared him too. A deer emerged from the bushes with a deformed neck. Or was it a skinwalker? Because that's what most people said. A creature attack. Some friends were out having a bonfire and enjoying the night when they started hearing weird noises coming from the woods. One of them decided to be brave and go and check, while others were there recording him. And this is when this happened. Even though they immediately ran to save their friend, we have no idea what happened afterwards as the video abruptly ended. A pair of glowing eyes. What will you do if there is a scary noise coming out of your roof? Will you go check it out like this man did? And there he ended up seeing a creature on the roof with its eyes glowing like some kind of demon. Or was it really the demon? No one could tell as the creature disappeared, leaving the man too shocked and scared to do anything. I hope he left the country the next day because the creature looked like it might love to follow him around. A gray man. There was a place where locals kept seeing strange things and weird creatures in the woods, but no one believed them until they hid themselves there with cameras and recorded this little gray man going about his usual life in the woods. It stood there for a few seconds until it sensed humans nearby and went away from where it came from, leaving us with hundreds of questions but no one to get answers from. A dwarf. This happened in a small town in Mexico. Let me tell you, the town is famous for its unusual happenings. In this video, we see a man first playing with his dog, and then he moved the camera to a little girl who was just going about her business. And that is when a tiny creature appeared on the screen, making the girl scream in fear and run away. And that's where the video ended. A witch. Unlike most of the videos in today's list, this one was recorded in a home where three guys were talking while lightly playing with a ball. And that is when a short black witch-like thing appeared out of nowhere and went past them in a hurry, which scared the boys quite a lot. When it was uploaded on the internet, some said it was definitely a witch, while others couldn't help but think it was a fake video. A tiny creature. And this one is a very short video, but creepy nonetheless. While the little kid enjoyed her swing, we see a tiny creature running from somewhere behind her. Was it a dwarf, or a ghost, or something more mischievous and scary? I guess we will never know. An unknown person. A man was out driving at night to get to his home, and while he was halfway through, he saw something quite creepy. A woman dressed in fancy clothing was walking on the road. Since she was too far, we can't clearly make out of her dressing, but that's what the man said. Even though he stood there for a few minutes, the woman did not come near. She just kept walking in that area. A scary cemetery. What if you were in a cemetery visiting a loved one and you encountered a weird man who disappeared behind a pole? Well, that's exactly what happened to this man, and he approached the spot to see where the man had gone, but no one was there. So he hurried back home with 1,000 questions swirling in his mind and a great deal of fear in his heart. A giant humanoid. In a terrifying encounter in Alberta, Canada, a man captured a video that appears to unveil an enormous creature. potentially belonging to a tribe of colossal beings native to the region, leisurely walking atop of a mountain without any visible means of support. The shadowy figure is of such immense size that it was noticed by 2 individuals during their usual commute. A multitude of individuals are now filled with curiosity, questioning the validity of the legends surrounding giants in this area. Could it be that there's something far more sinister lurking within the mysterious Alberta mountains? Mermaid. This video was recorded in China and has caused controversy since then. Some say that the mermaid in the video is real, and there have been numerous sightings of mermaids in the area, while others refuse to believe it, saying it is nothing but fake. There have been no comments by the authorities, so we can't be sure. But what if it is real? The Rake. The Rake is a popular creepy urban legend, similar to Slender Man, about a humanoid creature that attacks people. In a video posted by a man on July 25, 2011, filmed near the Hudson Bridge, he heard strange noises on his roof and decided to go check out what was happening while recording it all. While exploring, he unexpectedly falls off the roof, even though he was not injured or anything. The footage revealed a terrifying creature staring back at him later, leaving us all to imagine, was that really a rake?
Hello? Oh my god.
A smart genet. Even though the video was recorded in 2014, people still can't believe what they saw. The motion detecting trail camera sensed someone passing by one night and took some photos and a short video. Those photos showed a genet riding on big animals like a buffalo one night and on a rhino another night. When the video was posted on the internet, it left people speechless. Experts said that the animal did it to look for prey, and from that high point, it was easier to spot one. Isn't that one smart cat? Aliens. Now this clip might be a little blurry, but what it shows is just creepy as hell. A man was having his normal day when he felt that there was someone nearby. Considering he was in the woods, where usually no one goes, he took his camera out and started recording. And what he captured was a creature moving very quickly behind the trees.
There. Do you see it?
Its pace and height made it seem not like a human. But then, what was it? The mystery remains unknown. Someone behind the tree. This video was recorded by a group of friends who were looking for ghosts and other unusual beings. They thought that would be present there. And that's exactly what they happened to come across. They were hearing strange noises, and when they went deeper into the forest to investigate, they saw a weird creature staring at them from behind the tree. As soon as they spotted it, it disappeared.
Oh shit. My god.
A black thing. A weird black smoke-like being is what appears in this video, and this happened when an arrest was going on in Florida. Neither the police officers nor the other man had any idea about it. They remained oblivious to the thing, but the guy recording it was surely freaked out. Scary deer. This weird image was captured by a trail camera in 2022, and what we see here is a deer with scary mutations. Was this a result of some scary experiments going on with animals, or was this just some natural mutation? Nobody knows. Ghost Man. A glowy figure which appeared to have a white cloth on is what we see in this picture. But who was he? What was he doing so late at night, so deep in the woods? Nobody could tell, and people couldn't help but think that it was a ghost, as there was no way a human could wander off alone in that place at night. 3 eyes. It might look like a normal trail cam captured photo, but when you see it closely, you will see 3 glowing eyes on the left. But last time I checked, there was no animal with 3 eyes. But then, what was it? An alien or a ghost? Do let us know what you guys think. Panther. To some, it looked like a black panther, and to others, it looked like a ghostly vampire panther with such long fangs. It could be just a normal panther, but then how do we explain the glowy thing with it? It's surely a weird photo captured by the camera at the weirdest time possible. A ghost kid. Look closely and you will find a kid walking around in the woods in this picture. When the man uploaded it on Facebook, he was asking others if anyone knew who the kid was, and surprisingly, no one did. The kid's presence and identity remained unknown forever, leaving everyone until today to wonder who it was and what happened there. A weird crawling creature. Have you seen this bizarre video that's been going around? It's super short, but it shows this seriously weird creature on a random trail in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to make out what it is, but it kind of resembles a woman with a really strange posture. The thing is all muddy or dark brown and crawling around, scratching the ground with its long, skinny fingers. It also has something pointy sticking out of its head and seems to be crying. Raccoons fighting a deer. You know those pesky raccoons in North America that are always causing trouble for humans? Well, turns out they can annoy bucks too. In this video, these little thieves were initially tolerated as they stole food from the fields. But after a while, the buck's patience reached its limit. The food was running out, but the raccoons just kept showing up. There were so many raccoons, and they were so stubborn that the deer felt overwhelmed and decided to take matters into its own hooves. Eagle versus owl. Out of nowhere, a sneaky owl swoops down and surprises an unsuspecting eagle with a sudden attack. The eagle tries its best to fight back, but unfortunately, it doesn't stand a chance. It's pretty unusual to see an owl acting so aggressively, and experts are baffled trying to figure out what triggered this unexpected behavior. We're still in the dark about why the owl did what it did, leaving us with lots of questions about the wonders of the animal kingdom. Breathing Earth. This trail cam video showed us how Earth was actually moving up and down like it was tired from spinning and orbiting the sun non-stop. It's like the Earth needed a break to catch its breath. They call it breathing Earth when the ground gets loose and the wind is extra strong, making it move up and down as if it's taking a breath. If you don't know what it was, it would definitely freak you out. You might think the Earth is about to swallow you up, but it's not for the faint-hearted. Real mermaid found swimming. Check out this cool video of a mermaid swimming underwater. It looks so real. The mermaid's tail is super thin and lifelike, and it's swimming way faster than any human could. The other sea creatures around it seem totally chill, like they see mermaids all the time. If it was a person, those fish would be freaking out. A Tasmanian tiger. Guess what? There's this mysterious footage that's causing a big debate online. It's from a trail camera, and for a few seconds, you can see this blurry creature that some people think could be the Tasmanian tiger, a species believed to be extinct. Since the video quality isn't great and it's nighttime, we can't be sure if it's legit. A weird woman. Here's a strange story about a woman in a white dress who was walking in the middle of the road at night. Her walk was so weird that anyone would feel creeped out by it. It's unclear whether she was a witch or just an old woman in need of help. We'll probably never find out. Black creepy creature. Two farmers in Mexico were woken up in the middle of the night by their goats going crazy. They rushed outside to see what the commotion was about, and guess what? They found a weird black creature clinging onto one of their goats' necks. They tried everything to get it off, but it took a few minutes of struggling before it finally let go and scurried off into the woods. The farmers even tried to chase after it, but it vanished into thin air. Can you believe it? What do you think that strange creature could be, and where did it come from? The mystery remains unsolved. Face-changing woman. Here's a super creepy video caught on a security camera. When it first went online, it blew everyone's minds. Not only do the woman's eyes glow, but she also undergoes some freaky face-changing. We don't know who she is for sure, but this video will definitely give you the creeps every time you watch it. A little ghost. This scary video was recorded in the woods where a little ghost dressed as a human was seen hopping around. But wait until it turns towards the camera, and that's when you see that the little ghost is a dog dressed as a little girl and was just annoying some peaceful moments in the woods. The scariest clip. This video was uploaded a few years back on YouTube and scared the whole world. It shows what appears to be two girls in skirts, one holding the other one and smashing her here and there while walking on a wall. For me, it is the most terrifying clip out there. Skinwalker. The woman was enjoying her peaceful sleep in her room when she heard weird noises. As she woke up, she saw this weird as hell goat coming into her room, but things weren't very scary until the goat opened its mouth. If it were me, I wouldn't know what I would have done. Seriously. A dead mermaid. Are mermaids actually not real, or are these scientists and experts hiding things from us? Because there's a hell of a lot of proof out there that shows they might be real. Just like this video where a dead mermaid is being filmed by a man. Maybe it isn't like what we all have imagined, but it is the closest anything could get to a definition of a mermaid. A thief. This clip was recorded in 2018 and was posted on the internet with a caption saying, "Ghost caught on camera." However, if you look closely, it only looks like a kid trying to sneak into a home. And then there is another kid sitting there. And not just that, we see a ghost walking on the roof too. So what do you guys think? Isn't that creepy? A haunted hospital. In July 2022, something strange happened in a hospital. While we see people waiting in the lobby, a surgeon appears, scared as hell, and runs away, tripping here and there. The people there did not give it much importance until they see a wheelchair coming from the left, and then it turns towards them on its own. That's when they knew it wasn't something funny, it was a haunted hospital. A ghost on highway. While driving on the Queensland highway, the driver had no idea something surprising was about to happen. As he kept driving, he noticed something strange on the side of the road. To his surprise, he and other people saw a ghostly figure standing right in the middle of the road. The ghost looked like a pure white child floating just a little bit above the ground. This spooky sighting became famous and many people started calling it the Ghost Child. However, some people who didn't believe in ghosts argued that it might not be real. Creature feeding on a goat. In Mexico, 2 farmers were woken up by their goats crying late at night. Concerned for their animals, they hurried outside to see what was going on. To their surprise, they discovered a black, unfamiliar creature hanging from one of the goat's necks. Despite their attempts to free the goat, the creature stubbornly clung on. After a few minutes of struggle, it finally let go and ran away into the woods. The farmers tried to pursue it, but were unsuccessful. The identity and origin of this strange creature remain a mystery. A werewolf. A farmer in South Africa stumbled upon a sight that he never anticipated. He found a dead werewolf on his farm, which was later taken by researchers for investigation. Disturbing photos and videos of the werewolf were later uploaded by unknown individuals, causing fear in those who saw them. Despite being taken for further examination, no explanation was provided, adding to the mystery surrounding the event. A sea dragon. In Vietnam, a farmer went to a nearby pond and witnessed something that many would consider impossible. As seen in the video, the face of a dragon emerged from the water's surface. The dragon briefly looked around as if searching for someone, and the video ends at that point. Was it truly a dragon or some type of sea monster? Share your thoughts on what you believe it could be. A mysterious creature attack. A man in a backyard was captured on a CCTV camera being attacked and dragged by a mysterious creature. Some people might think it's not real, but I've watched it a few times and it seems genuine to me. The way the guy fights back and then gets thrown back to where he started is absolutely crazy. I don't know what it could be, but I hope the person involved is okay now. It's definitely something that makes you wonder about the unknown things in the world. An unknown attacker. Farmers in Puerto Rico were getting worried as their animals kept getting attacked by an unknown predator. Investigators tried to figure out what it was, but they couldn't find any clues. Initially, people thought it was a wolf, but the footprints didn't match. Some people claimed to have seen something like an ape and called it a chupacabra. It mostly targeted goats. The whole situation was scary and kept everyone on edge. And even though it happened a few years ago, the mystery remains unsolved. A dogman. In South Africa, a strange creature has been spotted roaming around town. It looks like a mix of a man and a dog, and it lives and eats with other dogs. There are many rumors and fears surrounding it, but nobody has been able to get close and learn more. We only have blurry camera footage of it walking with its furry friends. The big question is whether it's just a man with mental issues or something more unusual. Let us know your thoughts. A giant bat. Imagine you're a farmer, excited to start your day and work in the field with your animals. But when you arrive, this is what you see. Not a pleasant sight, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to this farmer who encountered the world's largest bat in his field. It's so big that people refer to it as the flying fox. A human-faced fish. Now let's watch this astonishing video from China where a fish was discovered that has a face resembling a human's. The video became extremely popular in November 2019, and people were completely startled. Some people believe it was a carp with a face that looked like a human's, but we can't be certain. Although the video is authentic, it's possible that the way the fish's scales appear on the camera's angle might have created that illusion. What do you think? A mummified dog. We all adore dogs, right? But have you seen Stucky, the dog that got mummified? A farmer discovered this well-preserved dog while working in the forest and cutting down trees. Trapped inside a tree trunk, he was protected from predators, insects, and the weather. How did this occur, you may wonder? It's a mystery. Some theories propose that the dog might have become trapped and died while inside the oak tree. Whatever the reason, it's truly astonishing to witness how well nature can preserve things. Take a look at the picture of Stucky, and you'll understand why it's simultaneously eerie and magnificent. Horse eating chicken. Get ready to be amazed by something incredible, straight from the farm. If you love horses and think they're the most gentle creatures, you might want to take a seat for this. In this video, we witness a horse doing something unexpected, devouring a family of chickens by eating one of the little chicks. The mother chicken tries her best to protect her offspring, but she's no match for the enormous horse. It's shocking to observe such behavior from a seemingly peaceful animal, but it serves as a reminder that animals can surprise us in various ways. A spy gorilla. Trail cameras mounted on trees recording animals is an old thing now. Spy cameras dressed and set as actual animals is the new thing now, and we see that in this video, which shows a spy gorilla camera in action. At first, the clan thought it to be weird and had to do a little inspection before they made the decision that the gorilla is no harm, so they'll let it stay. And that's when the camera recorded the beautiful moments of the gorilla family. A mutant calf. A farmer in North Macedonia was ecstatic as his cow was expected to deliver twins. But what actually happened left him in shock. Instead of two healthy calves, a mutant calf with two heads was born. The skulls were fused together, and it was unclear what caused this strange occurrence. Despite surviving for a few days, the vets believed they would not live much longer. But according to the latest news, the calf is still alive. Maybe it'll actually live just as long as usual calves do. A scary ghost. Let's check out this clip captured on a home security camera outside a house. You can hear faint footsteps before a blurry figure appears and moves across the screen. Since the video quality is poor, it's hard to make out any details. Is it a prowler, or could it be something paranormal? Upon closer inspection, the figure seems to briefly disappear when it reaches the center of the screen. This leaves us wondering if it's just a camera glitch, or if there's something more sinister going on. Two-headed cow. In 2015, a farmer named Dwight Cruz in Florida had an astonishing experience when his cow gave birth to a calf with two faces. The calf, named Annabelle, had two heads, 4 eyes, 2 ears, 2 mouths, and 2 noses. However, it also had 2 brains, which made it difficult for the calf to coordinate and feed from its mother. Consequently, the farm owner had to feed the poor baby with a bottle. Known as dicephalic parapagus, occurs when the embryo fails to split correctly during pregnancy and could be genetic. A strange monkey. Riding through the peaceful forest, a lone biker suddenly comes across a strange and mysterious creature. As a cyclist gets closer to a narrow trail surrounded by tall walls, a weird and otherworldly being jumps down from the wall and almost crashes into the biker. Surprised, the cyclist stops to look for the creature, but it has disappeared without a trace. Because of its strange look and incredible speed, it's hard to figure out exactly what this creature could be. Californian coast mermaid. In the video, we can see the mermaid swaying its tail in an impressive way. The tail movement confirms that it's a real mermaid, and not a person wearing a mermaid tail, as no one can shake a fake tail that skillfully. The video is a bit blurry, but I believe it's genuine, and not some edited nonsense people post on social media. There's plenty of evidence supporting the existence of this species, and I genuinely think they exist, but we humans still need to uncover their secret hiding spots. Dancing bear. When a wildlife channel placed cameras in the jungle, their goal was to capture footage of animals being themselves. What they didn't expect was to witness bears shaking their behinds and moving like Shakira in the woods. Just like us humans, bears get itchy sometimes. But unlike us, they scratch their backs on trees, and they absolutely love doing it. I mean, look at them. A woman stabbing herself. You won't believe what I just saw in this video. So it was late at night, and this guy was driving his usual route when he came across something super creepy. He was like, nope, I'm turning back and getting out of here. There was this ghostly woman in the middle of the road, holding a knife, and she was actually stabbing herself. Can you imagine? What would you do if you witnessed that? Animals reacting to reflections. There was a French photographer who decided to set up a camera and a big mirror in the middle of the jungle. He wanted to see how the animals would react to their own reflections. And guess what? It turned out way crazier than he expected. The leopard couldn't get enough of itself. The gorilla saw it as a chance to have a fight with its own reflection. And the elephant didn't really care much. But the chimpanzees, oh boy, they had a blast checking themselves out while scratching. Mermaid on the dock. Imagine there's a dock and out of nowhere a mermaid shows up. She looks all confused, swimming back and forth like she's trying to find her way to the water. But here's the strange part. There were people around, and they didn't do anything. I mean, come on, if I saw a mermaid, I'd be freaking out. You'd think someone would have called the authorities or something. Now, there's a big debate about whether this video is real or edited. Nobody really knows for sure. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Dobby. Imagine if the magical world from the books and movies were actually real. Well, after watching this video of a creature that looks just like Dobby, I can't help but wonder if there's a hidden realm of magic out there that we humans don't know about. This creature was doing some kind of funky dance with its thin legs, and trust me, it definitely wasn't a human or some kid doing a chicken dance. A witch. This spooky video was recorded in Mexico in 2006. You can see a mysterious figure flying through the sky on a broomstick. Some people think it's a witch. The locals had been talking about these witches for ages, but nobody had any proof until this footage was taken. The witch's flight looks a bit shaky, so maybe she's a new witch still practicing her flying skills. Man vanished. This Ring camera recorded a man walking on the street at night, but just after a few seconds, he appeared to have vanished in thin air. It was in the middle of the camera's view, so we cannot say that he may have walked to the edge of the view. Now, how did this happen and who exactly was the man? This answer remained unknown as the woman whose camera recorded it said she had never seen him before. A brave mongoose. Prepare to be amazed by this wild encounter. So, a lion comes across a mongoose and decides to have some fun with it. The poor mongoose gets caught, but it refuses to give up. It keeps trying to escape, even though the lion is determined to keep it as a plaything. This back and forth goes on for minutes, and just when it seems like the mongoose is done for, the lion gets distracted by another lion. That's the mongoose's chance to make a break for it. Fighting pandas. In this video, two big pandas are fighting like crazy, and it's leaving us all shocked and confused. Normally, these gentle creatures are all about munching on bamboo, playing around, and doing cute somersaults. But it turns out, even pandas can get feisty sometimes. We don't really know why they suddenly got so aggressive. A cute fight. I mean, let's be honest, for the bunny gang, this fight was probably a big deal. But if we as humans saw these two bunnies trying to throw punches while hopping around in perfect sync, it would be hard not to find it absolutely adorable. Of course, I'm not saying we should jump in and break it up. Who knows, we might end up with a bunny punch right in the face too, right? Dirt bath. Who says birds don't need a spa day? These sparrows are taking their grooming routine to a whole new level in the woods. They're into this thing called dirt bathing. Basically, they cover themselves in dirt to keep their feathers healthy and prevent too much oil buildup. It's quite a sight to see these birds dipping themselves in the dirt, rolling around and flapping their wings to make sure every feather gets coated. They're pretty hygienic for little creatures, don't you think? A trail cam thief. So there's this coyote just strolling through the woods when it spots a trail camera nearby. Well, it seems like the camera caught its attention because it kept coming back trying to snatch it. After a few tries, it actually succeeded and bolted away with the camera as fast and as far as it could. The camera had quite an adventure with the coyote, getting all battered and scratched until its rightful owner found it. A snake. Alright, so in this video, we've got this guy who decides to take a picture in the woods. He sets up the camera and steps back to get the perfect shot. Little did he know, while he's crouching down for the pic, a sneaky snake drops down from above and scares the living daylights out of him. In a panic, he chucks the snake away and runs for his dear life. A bear on rope. A cool video of a big black bear in Canada was captured by the Garrett Bros Outfitting YouTube channel back in 2013. The bear was determined to reach a hanging beaver that was out of its grasp. So it showed off its strength and athletic skills by climbing a tree and hanging from a rope. Despite its best efforts, the bear couldn't reach the beaver and ended up falling down. It gave up on its meal in the end. A trespassing bear. In this funny incident, a bear trespassed onto someone's property at night and tried to snack on some chickens. It attempted to break into the chicken coop, but got startled by a strange voice and decided to run away as fast as possible. Turns out, the owner, Haley, woke up in the middle of the night and shouted at the bear from a window to scare it off. Witch in a graveyard. While exploring a graveyard in Hungary, a guy who was researching ghosts and unusual artifacts came across a spooky encounter. He stumbled upon necklaces made from human teeth and an abandoned graveyard. To his surprise, he discovered a goth-looking woman, possibly a witch hiding in the area. Instead of running away, he shouted at her, causing her to gather her things and flee. The guy tried to chase after her into the forest, but suddenly fell to the ground as if something was holding his feet down. A cult. This next video is seriously eerie. So imagine a car driving along a dark road at night, right? Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bunch of guys dressed like, guess who? Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I know, weird, right? Anyway, what's even creepier is when they all stop to peek into the car, and then there's this mysterious light in the background. Oh, and there's this one guy wearing a mask too. Two babies. So there's this cute bear cub named Boog, and guess what he finds in his living room? A baby deer is just chilling there. At first, Boog is kinda careful, slowly approaching the little deer. But the deer is like, nah, I'm not interested, and ignores Boog's attempts to be buddies. But you know what? Boog doesn't give up. He's patient and keeps trying until he finally wins her over. And then they have this adorable little encounter. Who says animals can't be friends, right? A bear. So you know how bears are usually all fluffy and adorable? Well, let me tell you, don't invade their personal space, my friend. They can get pretty feisty. In this video, we've got a little bear who stumbled upon a trail camera. And boy, oh boy, he wasn't having any of it. He went crazy shaking and wiggling that camera until it broke. I mean, it's hilarious to watch, but I kind of feel sorry for the poor camera. Vanished baby. So picture this, a baby girl sitting in her crib minding her own business. And then, out of nowhere in just 2 seconds, a hand comes in and snatches the baby away. Vanished, just like that. It's super creepy, especially when you slow down the video. All you can see is this scary-looking hand slipping through the crib's back and grabbing the baby. Some people might think it's fake, but if you look closely, there's no visible editing. A brave cat. Check out this funny video where a cat saves a little boy from a dog who's trying to play rough. The dog grabs the boy's leg, but the clever cat kicks the dog hard. Then the boy's mom rushes in to help while the fearless cat scares the dog away. It just goes to show that cats can be protectors too, and dogs aren't always the only ones looking out for us. Caught in the act. This not-so-smart thief thought he could take a trail camera from the woods, but guess what? It was securely attached to a tree. He pulled and tugged with all his might, but couldn't budge it. Eventually, he gave up and left the camera hanging upside down. Now he's become an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons. So, remember kids, crime doesn't pay, especially when you end up being the laughingstock of the internet. Witch performing fire ritual. Back in 1970, a German journalist named Ralph Olsen captured some really spooky footage while traveling in Africa. He stumbled upon a shaman in a rural area who was performing a magic ritual to connect with spirits. The witch lived in the hills and started by creating a ring of fire. As her followers chanted, she slowly levitated off the ground and then came back down. This happened multiple times. When the journalist shared the footage, people in the broadcasting community made fun of him, ruining his reputation. A pixie. You know those little fairy-like creatures called pixies? Well, they're mostly from mythology, but there have been times when people saw things that made them think otherwise. This video shows exactly what pixies might look like if they were real. Imagine a tiny being popping its head out of a mountain cave. It seemed like it was checking out the man filming it. It only stayed for a few seconds before disappearing back into the cave. A strange hiding creature. This guy was exploring the jungle, being all adventurous when he stumbled upon a cave. Of course, he couldn't resist going in to check it out. But guess what? He found something he never expected. A creepy creature crawling towards him in the dark. Talk about a heart-pounding moment. He ran out of there as fast as his feet could carry him. We still don't know what that thing was, but it definitely wasn't Spider-Man. A levitating girl. So this Russian guy was out walking in the woods with his dog, having a nice stroll. Suddenly, his dog stopped listening to him and started barking at something. That's when the guy decided to point his camera in that direction. And guess what? He recorded something that shocked not only him, but the whole world. There was a woman with a child, but instead of standing or running like normal humans, the child was floating in the air, and the woman was just staring at her. As soon as they noticed someone nearby, they both ran away. A close call. Imagine a man was having a great time hiking in the mountains, feeling all one with nature. But guess what? His peaceful adventure took a wild turn when he realized he was being chased by a mountain lion. Can you imagine the adrenaline rush? He ran for his life as soon as he saw and heard the lion following him. Luckily, he scared the lion away with a mighty roar. A mermaid skeleton. So there's this video that popped up showing what they say is a mermaid skeleton found on a hidden beach. The footage showed a skull that looked like a human and some tailbones. But wait a minute, before you get all worked up, turns out it's not as legit as it seemed. The whole thing is pretty suspicious, and people quickly dismiss the bones as a hoax. A scary road. In the deep forest, there's this creepy road surrounded by tall trees. The moonlight makes the shadows look really spooky on the ground. All of a sudden, a camera starts recording, and it catches something super scary. You can hear strange noises getting louder and closer, like something unknown is coming. It becomes clear that whatever is making those sounds isn't human. The camera shows these creepy figures moving really fast between the trees, and their eyes glow in the dark, giving you the chills. Woman turns into fire. This old video that's been floating around the internet for years. The interesting thing about it is that people still can't figure out if it's real or fake. The story goes that there was this woman up to no good, and when the locals confronted her, she escaped by transforming into fire and flying away. Pretty wild, huh? The Death Circle. This eerie video was captured by a guy who stepped outside his house and spotted a bunch of turkeys acting strangely. These turkeys were going round and round a dead cat lying on the road. When it went viral, everyone was baffled. But we've got the explanation for you. Researchers say that turkeys mistook the cat for a threat, so they began investigating. Since turkeys tend to stick together, when one started circling, the rest followed, creating this weird loop we now call the Death Circle. A super goat. Have you ever seen a super buff goat? If you haven't, we're about to show you something awesome. So this guy was out hiking in the mountains, just enjoying nature and all that. And guess what he stumbled upon? This seriously ripped goat. He knew he had to capture it on his phone and share it with everyone. And guess what? The video went crazy viral on Twitter, racking up a whopping 4 million views. People couldn't help but be amazed by the goat's incredible physique. An unknown animal. It's small like a squirrel, but its face is more like a monkey, you know? A farmer caught it on camera while wandering around the woods, but we're clueless about what it actually is. If any of you have any bright ideas, let us in on the secret, okay? An alien. It's a bit fuzzy and low res, but what it captures is absolutely unbelievable. Picture this, a creature with a head shaped like a hammer suddenly pops up on a camper's roof, screams its lungs out, and then vanishes into thin air. Some folks thought it resembled a dog, while others said a monkey. But honestly, it didn't look like any of those critters to us. So what the heck was it? Nobody knows. Ghost bike. A bike going on its own when the riders fall off of them in the race is one thing. and a park bike that just decides to change its place while no one else is around is something on another level. And that's exactly what this bike did. It was peacefully standing at a side, but then it looked like the bike got bored and thought it should go stand somewhere else. So it did exactly that. Was it a ghost doing that? Or was it some other factor? Do let me know what you guys think. An unknown being. At first, I thought it was just a large beaver, but then it started moving, and that was just as weird as anything can be. This video was recorded by a man from a very safe distance. It even looked like the creature didn't even notice someone recording it, or maybe it did and just wanted to move away. Still, the fact that the creature didn't attack the man and went on its way is something to be considered here. Something on the road. These men were just having fun on their way home. One of their friends even started walking on his own and didn't sit in the car. But after a minute, they saw him running back towards the car, all terrified. And as the car moved forward, everyone could see why that was. A weird creature sat on the road, crawling creepily towards one side. What was that? No one could tell. Just an animal stuck in a bush or something else. A creature in hiding. Let's say you're sitting in your classroom and you feel that someone is watching you. As you look up, you see these two eyes peeping out. This is exactly what happened to this guy, and these eyes look really scary if you ask me. If I were there, I would have just made a run for it no matter what I was doing. A UFO. What's scarier than a volcanic eruption? A UFO on top of the eruption happening. And this is what this video shows us all. God knows what these aliens are thinking. Or are they hiding something in there? We're not sure. But do let us know what you guys think. Two ghost buddies. This man was going through the camera's recordings for some purpose, but what he saw there was just too terrifying not to share on the internet. As the minutes pass, we see two figures emerging from the right side of the screen. It looked like a big man who was holding the other one, which looked like an animal or something. What exactly were those? No one could tell. All we have is this recording and 100 questions. A merman. Was it a mermaid or a merman? It's pretty confusing because it looked like both, but it's creepy as hell, and there's no confusion in that. It was recorded by a man who uploaded it anonymously, so we're not sure about the origins. But to people who saw it, it looked more like a sea monster or alien than a mermaid. What do you guys think? An unknown critter. Some friends thought it'd be a good idea to go check out an abandoned house, which was also famous for being haunted. Upon going inside, they examined everything, including the pool area and other areas, when they heard creepy noises. As the camera moved towards the direction of the voices, a weird creature came into view, half sitting on the roof. As soon as it spotted the guys, it moved onto the roof, and that's when the men ran out of the house and the video ended. A dragon. If you think dragons only exist in movies, you will find yourself having second thoughts after watching this clip. It shows a huge dragon-like creature flying in the sky. Apparently, it was recorded somewhere in England and left viewers in shock considering its size. Do you think it's real or just a fake? Don't forget to let us know in the comments. Aliens. This video was recorded on a trail camera in 2019 in Brazil. While the man said his camera had never before captured something so strange, it was an alien-like figure that appeared this time on it. The creature looked like it was trying to inspect the camera and what it does. However, some people also claim that the alien was later caught by the authorities, but they never told anyone about it. Someone in the cave. A woman was out there exploring the mountains when she decided to go inside a cave she saw and inspect it thoroughly. A short while after going deeper into the cave, she saw a weird white creature. The figure seemed very odd. It appeared to be scaling the walls or something and did not come near the woman, even though she stood there for a few minutes. What exactly was that? Well, there's no answer to that. A ghost man. This guy, let's call him a mystery man or a superhero, doesn't really matter what you label him because his moves are straight up mind-blowing. He zooms around at super speed, grabs that little girl and whisks her away to safety in just a few seconds. Anyone who watches that video is left dumbfounded by his sudden burst of courage. But before you can even wrap your head around what just went down, the heroes already vanished into thin air, leaving everyone in awe and wondering what the heck just happened. Hellhound. Now let's talk about hellhounds. These supernatural dogs are supposed to guard the gates of hell. Ancient Greece had stories about them, including one about a three-headed dog named Cerberus. Legend has it that if you look into its eyes 3 times or more, you'll drop dead on the spot. In this video from the TV show Mountain Monsters, they claim to have captured a real-life hellhound. The host interviewed a guy who said he caught the elusive creature on tape. The footage shows a black 4-legged beast. People all over the world are going crazy over it, wondering if this video is legit or not. Billy. You know those mythical creatures called centaurs? They're like humans with a horse's body. Well, check out this newborn goat from Argentina. It has a face that looks human. When the folks in the town saw it, they thought something magical must have been involved in its birth. Some say it's just a weird birth defect, but most people are calling it a real-life centaur. We've seen some bizarre animal videos on the internet, but nothing quite like this goat with a human-like face. Montauk Monster. In July 2008 in New York, 2 friends were out to take a walk along the shore, not knowing what was about to come next. Lying a few feet away was a dead creature that no one had ever seen before. It was the size of a small dog, a beak like a chicken, and a tail again like a dog. It was hairless but had small patches of hair on it. They posted the picture they took later on the internet, and everyone was left shocked with not even a single person giving a logical explanation. No reflection. At first, everything seems normal, but then you'll notice something strange happening. Customers start leaving the store one by one. The first person's reflection can be seen in the big mirror on the wall, along with a woman sitting nearby. But when a man in a black suit walks by the mirror, there's no reflection at all. What's going on here? Watch the video and see for yourself. It's a real mystery that'll make you wonder what's really happening. Cyclops. You know that Cyclops from the Hercules movie, right? That big one-eyed dude who helped Zeus kick some Titan butt? Well, guess what? There's an actual one-eyed Cyclops goat in India, and we're all wondering how it's still alive. You'd expect that giant eye to give it supervision compared to the other goats. But sadly, it's just a deformity. The locals even think this goat's eye has some mythical powers. So now they're worshipping it and all. Crazy, huh? A grandpa. This video shows an old man and a young kid walking together. Clearly the old man is the kid's grandpa. Out of nowhere, a super fast figure zooms towards them. Just seconds before a rock comes crashing down right where they were standing. This speedy figure swiftly moves them out of danger. Who or what could this mysterious figure be? Is it a guardian angel or something else entirely? This video leaves us with so many questions and makes us think about all the possibilities. Check it out. A cat. Have you ever seen something that's totally weird and makes no sense? Check out this video I found on a home security camera in Austin, Texas. So there's this cat walking up the path, and when it gets to a spot with light, boom, it just disappears out of nowhere. What in the world could have caused that? Was it some kind of light trick, or did the cat actually vanish? This video is like a peek into the unknown, making us wonder what the heck really happened. A possessed baby. Now get ready for one of the freakiest and most confusing things you'll ever witness. Imagine a baby's room at night. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Well, hold on tight, because things get seriously bizarre. Out of the blue, the baby in the crib decides to climb up the side of the railings. And wait for it. The baby actually bounces on top of the railing for a crazy 22 seconds. It's like a scene from a horror flick. But guess what? It's all caught on a nanny cam. This whole situation is just too strange and creepy. It sends chills down your spine as you watch. A creepy baby. So there's this dad recording his adorable son, just doing his usual playful thing. Everything seems normal until the baby looks away from the mirror and turns towards the camera. And that's when things get a little spooky. When the baby looks into the camera, the reflection in the mirror is slow to catch up. It's like something or someone is messing with the reflection, you know? This video with the delayed reflection is gonna give you the creeps and make you question if what you saw was real. What's your take on what's really happening here? Bigfoot. Okay, so these 2 kids are out exploring the jungle, right? They got their camera with them, and suddenly, boom, they stumble upon something mind-blowing. Guess what? They actually caught footage of Bigfoot wandering around. And let me tell you, this creature is huge. I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. The way it swings its arms is kind of familiar, like a gorilla, but also different. It's like Bigfoot thinks it's alone, you know, like nobody's watching. Baby owls. Let's check out this video of two baby owls that look like they're from another planet. Their big round eyes and strange movements are so captivating. It's like they're taking in everything around them and trying to figure it all out. It's a really cool peek into the lives of these unique creatures, and a reminder that nature always has surprises in store. A creepy cat. Now, there's this video of a cat doing the weirdest things ever. It stands on its back legs, walks to the table, somehow grows bigger, and then just stands there. It's honestly so bizarre, I can't even explain what's happening. Even if you watch it in reverse, it's still super creepy. Check it out for yourself. Magnapinna squid. Have you ever heard of the Magnapinna squid? It's a super mysterious and sneaky creature that hangs out in the deep ocean, especially near the Mariana Trench. What makes it really creepy is its crazy long and skinny arms, which can be 10 times longer than its body. And get this, it even has fins sticking out from its body. So when you put it all together, this squid is basically a nightmare come to life. It's hardly ever been spotted, so scientists don't know much about it. It's like a secret from the deep sea. Night crawlers. Ever heard of these things called night crawlers or soul walkers? They're these creepy yet strangely calming creatures, man. So there's this video from 2011 in California, and it shows these two stick-like figures casually strolling through the woods. You know, it's almost like they're a ghost family. One looks like a baby ghost, and the other might be a ghost mom or dad. It's actually quite peaceful and serene, and I really hope they were able to continue their nighttime wanderings without any disturbances, you know? Trail cams can turn out to be the ultimate ghost catchers, if put out there for long times. From two siblings who went behind a creepy thing to someone attacking another trail cam, here are the times when unknown things were captured on trail cams. A shadow. While a trail cam was at its usual work, something strange happened. A shadow of some creature appeared on the left side, and then it seemed like the creature went away without coming in front of the camera. The shadow remained unidentified, even by the authorities, with some people wondering if it could be Bigfoot, while others suggested it might be a bear or a gorilla. A weird creature. While the man was trying to catch some fish to take home, he saw a weird creature swimming around in the water. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before, so he decided to capture it on camera and show it to others. Upon seeing the footage, people couldn't identify any animal that resembled this creature. The eyes, the skin color, what kind of fish could it be? Or is it the sea monster people have been talking about? Creepy siblings. At first we see two little kids going somewhere. The fact that it was recorded on a trail cam at a very late hour is in itself pretty creepy. Then we see a weird creature behind the bushes signaling for them to come near. Who were those two kids? Where did they come from? And why did they go near that thing? These are some of the questions everyone asked after watching the clip, but no one provided any answers. A ghost. Out in the woods, two friends were with their dogs when they happened to capture a real ghost while filming their cute little doggo. The ghost boy appears in the top left corner of the screen and then vanishes into thin air in a second. The boys mentioned that they had been going into the woods for quite some time and had never seen anything like that before. Hungry eyes. This motion-activated trail cam was triggered when a bear came nearby, and as the flashlight turned on, the bear's eyes turned into two glowing eyes. The bear seemed pretty annoyed by the light and appeared to be saying something before it went off screen after a few minutes. Regardless of what others say, those two hungry eyes are the most terrifying, especially if it was a person there rather than the camera. Bath time. Eagles are usually caught on camera fighting each other or hunting snakes, or things like that. It is rather unusual to see an eagle enjoying a relaxing bath with no one around. The footage was recorded on a trail camera in 2022, and perhaps the temperature was a little too much for the eagle to deviate from its usual routine and have a nice bath first. Piebald fawn. For those who don't know, piebald deer are deer that have blotches of white coloration on portions of their hide that are usually dark in color, and they are quite rare to encounter in the wild. However, this trail camera succeeded in capturing one in 2021, and the owner was just too happy and excited not to share it online. Of course, he had to let others know about it. An attack on trail camera. This video was recently recorded on May 17, 2023, and showed a creature attacking the trail camera, which was doing nothing to offend that thing so much. When uploaded online, people said that it must be a Sasquatch, as the creature made sure the camera did not catch its face or anything, and kept attacking it from the left side. Turkey vulture rice. Vultures are known for being epic scavengers, but what this trail camera recorded was a little unusual and somewhat terrifying. These two turkey vultures were spotted having a fight, which did not last long, but looked just as deadly as anything can be. With such a short clip, we couldn't get the whole view or any kind of context as to why these two were having a fight. A surprise. A man who set up a trail camera in different places in the woods near his home decided to have a little surprise for all the animals. He put bunny bears everywhere, and then waited until the animals came and had little interactions with the bunnies. The raccoons loved it, porcupines loved it, and even bears loved their gift. They all had cute little interactions with the gift the man had given them. A ghost dog. This 7-second long video shows a girl having fun with her dog, and the guy recording them. But was that a dog that was following her? And was it the same dog that appeared from the right side? This might be the most confusing clip I have ever seen. And yeah, it does look like the dog that was following her at first might be a ghost dog. Or was that a glitch in the Matrix? Goblin cat. Cats come in many different shapes and sizes, but this one truly is very unique and weirder than all others. The long legs and the small face. Is it some kind of disease the cat has, or is it something else? People call it the goblin cat and think that it was a result of some kind of genetic mutation. And considering the things that have been happening these days, anything can be possible. Batman. What will happen if you're going somewhere and you see this sitting on a tree branch right in front of you? Won't you be scared as hell? Well, so were these people who actually saw it. And as soon as the car from which they were recording went near, the creature flew away. Now, I know most of you would say it is fake, but let's say it's not. Wouldn't that be frightening? Alien. This woman was out in the woods when she heard weird noises. Curious, she had to go see what it was. So she turned her camera on and went towards the place the noises were coming from. And that is when this creature appeared from behind the tree. Was it an alien, or was it someone in a weird alien costume? No one could tell, as the video abruptly ended without us reaching any conclusions. Teleportation. Two friends were out at night having a little walk in the neighborhood when they were caught on a nearby CCTV camera. A second passed, and we see one of the friends vanishing from the scene. It happened like in alien movies where the cows get teleported by the aliens. The other friend seemed pretty oblivious to what had just happened, which led us to think that the video might be fake. Still, nothing is for sure. A creepy boy. A couple had been hearing scary noises from the house every night, so they decided to install Ring cameras everywhere. And one night, they recorded this, a creepy doll walking around in the hallway, and then in the bedroom as well. The doll's arms moved in the creepiest way possible, and the video ended with the doll entering the bedroom and kind of sensing the camera. What happened afterward? Nobody knows. Skinwalker. Ever wondered what animals do when no one is looking at them? Well, this huge goat walking in the most terrifying way will answer that for you. It must have thought that no humans were nearby, so it started walking like that, on its back legs, going towards the other goats. It looks like something straight out of hell. What do you guys think? A close call. This guy was out in the wilderness filming a video, just minding his own business, when all of a sudden, he sees something bolting towards him like a bat out of hell. And guess what? It's a freaking mountain lion! Yeah, you heard me right. This guy is staring down a big, wild apex predator. But you know what's even crazier? He manages to narrowly escape like a boss. This dude had a seriously close call.
No, you face, dude.
But he lives to tell the tale, and we're all glad he made it out in one piece. Weird creature in woods. Well, on their routine bike ride along steep tracks, a group of bikers encountered a terrifying experience that would haunt them forever. As they ventured deeper into the forest, a strange humanoid creature suddenly emerged from the side of the track and quickly started running away. The sight of the creature caused one of the bikers to lose control and fall off his bike. Shocked, the biker with the camera attempted to chase after the creature, but to his surprise, it vanished into thin air, leaving him bewildered. An unusual friendship. An incredible video aired on an Indian news channel featuring the most mind-blowing thing ever. A leopard visited a cow every night, and they had their own secret friendship going on while the humans snoozed. Upon investigation, it was discovered that the cow had taken care of the leopard when it was a baby, and now the leopard was not ready to let go of its caregiver. How sweet is that? A dinosaur. Even though the video is made by an amateur and we don't know who made it, it's perfect for our list. Can you imagine that there's a pterosaur flying in the sky? We know about pterosaurs because of fossils in movies, but we can't see them anymore. But some lucky people saw one and filmed it. I'm happy we have the video. Do you think it's real or just for attention? An embarrassed gator. Most folks would bolt to the side of an alligator, but not these guys. This couple not only keeps one as a pet, but also knows how to make it blush. When the gator struggled to chomp down some grub, it got bashful and decided to give up and take a dip in the water instead. Aw, poor fella. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.
A land of ancient civilization, Egypt holds in it the most bizarre, terrifying, and peculiar creatures. Some are remains of the dead, others still out there trying to scare humans with their frightening features. Sit tight to see these mind-boggling things caught on camera. Tied mummy. An ancient criminal? Or proof of classic cruelty from our ancestors' time? Well, in truth, it's none of these. Found in a 1.8 meter deep pit, the body of a man believed to be in his mid-age was strangely tied and was buried 1,800 years ago in this burial chamber. But with his hand covering the face and whole body being tied with ropes, the mummy is not a victim, but actually it was a part of their custom that was practiced around hundreds of years ago. Yes, researchers believe that the whole binding process may have been some kind of ritual, practiced to preserve the bodies forever. Croc mummies. Either dead or alive, crocs will always scare humans to their cores. While digging the ancient tombs, the research workers found 12 crocs buried in the soil. Looking alive from afar, it felt like they might open their jaws at any moment, because their textured skin still looked fresh and the teeth were still intact within the jaws. The researchers were stunned when they got to know that the crocodiles had been buried 2,500 years prior, because how could something this old be in almost its original condition? Well, actually, they were preserved with a particular method which excluded wrappings and resin, which helped them keep their original condition. Abandoned alien. Strolling in the desert is an alien creature. Though it has a humanoid body with its extremely long limbs, thin skin, and the way it is walking with a stooped posture, it sure gives some eerie vibes to the onlookers. Because of the blurry video, some say that it is a chupacabra walking in the deserts and planning an attack on the livestock. A majority of the people believe that because it is found in a deserted area, it could be a mummy that decided to come alive after spending centuries in the coffin. Because how else could anyone explain the slim body of the weirdo walking in the middle of the day? Deserted whales. While we believe that fish and deserts are two parallel things, researchers in Egypt found whale carcasses right in the desert lands. And not just one or two. The desert was filled with bones, skulls, and huge carcasses of whales. In fact, these bones were so abundant in the land that it was given the name of Whale Valley. While folks were baffled, how could it be possible? According to investigators, it may be possible that in ancient ages, it was a result of a mass beaching, in which the whales and dolphins willingly strand themselves on land and die. And when the ocean moved further away, they may have been buried in the sand. Ancient skeleton layer, but the most striking feature of the statue is no doubt its eyes. Made with sycamore wood, the fact that they are still present in almost their original form is quite impressive, as the researchers are trying to figure out the secret ingredient used to keep it so long-lasting. Bursting pool. Right in the middle of the desert, there's lava popping out, and it looks like it's about to explode on the onlookers' faces. But what is it? This question has been baffling people for so long. Some said it was the pit of the Sarlacc, a beast believed to be living beneath the desert sands. The others called it a desert monster coming out of its hiding place. But in reality, it's actually neither of these, as it was a small reserve of oil found in the middle of Egypt's desert. And due to extreme heat, the oil looked like it was about to burst out of the small hole. Sleeping girl. Looking like a sleeping child, the girl shocked the archaeologists when it was caught, because it felt like the girl would open its eyes at any moment. But actually, she had been dead for about 1,200 years, and was perfectly preserved, which muddled the researcher too. But her history is even more baffling. The girl was a teenager when she was sacrificed as a common religious practice of that time. Found in her hair were the signs of consuming alcohol and cocoa, which were given to her as a way to persuade her for the sacrifice, which actually means that she was drugged before the ritual took place. Concealed toads. Preserving the least expected things. The old customs are nothing but a mystery for the present world. Just like this, when a man, while digging an ancient tomb, unearthed a jar. While the other jars used to be filled with the organs of humans that died hundreds of years ago, this one was filled with 8 mummified toads. Yeah, toads, about 4,000 years old. And when they investigated them even further, the archaeologists were shocked to see that all 8 toads were decapitated before being preserved in the jar. But nobody knows what the purpose of preserving toads was. Were they considered holy in the past world? Or is there some mystery in it we cannot ever unveil? Preserved victim. While preservation of the old elite people is something we're used to, a preserved murder victim was something new even for the archaeologists. Not manually buried, but being dumped in a peat bog, the corpse was naturally preserved. Meet the 2,400-year-old corpse, known as the Tulland Man. Found deep in a bog with its neck tied with rope, the researchers were able to determine that the corpse had been hung. For what purpose, no one knows. But one thing there is the last meal he had eaten before he was put to death, which turned out to be porridge and some fish. Exposed grave. Not a mummy, but a man's camera caught a bizarre scene from a cemetery. He spotted a half-open grave in the middle of the cemetery, and taking a closer look, the man's camera recorded the skeleton of a human, probably 1.8 meters tall, lying inside. Not knowing how the grave opened, the guy went a little inside, and he was shocked to see some more skulls placed on the grave's corner. And that was not it, as human legs and some other body parts were also present inside it, which definitely didn't belong to the single person. So what was going on here? Let me know what you think. Mummified Queen. With her veins still red, skin still tough, the lady, known as the Queen of Mummification, is said to be the wealthiest woman of her time. Sleeping along with the valuables that were placed inside her tomb, she showed the signs of wealth and prosperity, and the researchers assumed that this might be the reason behind the exemplary preservation of the lady, because even after being dead for hundreds of years, Her joints were still flexible, even though her eyelash and nose hair were still intact. And it looked like a corpse of a recently deceased person, rather than someone who had died centuries ago. Dino people. If you used to believe that humans came following the dinosaurs' extinction, then get ready to be proven wrong. As buried underneath a tomb, scientists discovered something strange yet fascinating. They unearthed hundreds of figurines containing the figure of humans and dinosaurs, and both of them along with each other. And even some of them showed people riding the dinosaurs, which potentially proves that there might have been some time in the ancient eras where both of these creatures used to live together, but probably for a very short period of time, that no signs other than these thousands of year old figurines were found. Gold mummies. This is the Valley of the Gold Mummies, where multiple people are taking their eternal sleep, covered in gold. Containing a rich culture filled with distinct traditions, Egyptians highly impacted their surroundings, just like the Romans, who, when invading Egypt, adopted the process of mummification, and that in gold, obsessed with the idea of gold. The Egyptians used to believe that the gods were made up of gold, so when their kings died, they used to cover their bodies in gold-plated coffins, and sometimes even cover their faces with gold so that they could become a divine being in the afterlife. Sewer monster. While exploring the ancient caves, a group of explorers decided to go a little further inside it, in search of some old treasures that might be hidden there. When not being able to locate anything, the group decided to head back towards their car. But it turned out someone really didn't want them to go back, as when heading back, one of the boys heard something coming from an ancient drainage system a little distant from the caves. And there it was, a strange creature, a cryptid, that even though locked in the bars, was trying all of its efforts to come out and catch the group.
Okay.
But luckily, the group made it out unharmed. Unicorn remains. While many of us believe that unicorns belong to the fictional world and don't belong to our world, a man's camera caught the unexpected, a unicorn skull half buried in the sand. And when it was brought to the researchers, they revealed something that might disappoint you, as these ancient unicorns are nothing like we expected them to be, and are more recent than the humans had assumed. Because in reality, the unicorns did not resemble the horses, but actually were something quite like rhinos, with a single horn over its head, that roamed the earth about 29,000 years ago. Coffins of Saqqara. Found inside the tomb of Saqqara are buried the rarest and the most fascinating coffins. An archaeologist was shocked when he accidentally found a chamber of huge figurines that were buried there about 2,000 years ago. And when they went inside, the archaeologist was surprised to see hundreds of them placed inside the chamber. And not alone, they were placed along with gilded masks and falcons, and a lot of other antique things that showed signs of wealth, as no ordinary people were inside those coffins. Some of them were kings and queens of the 2,000-year-old world, and that proves that Saqqara was once a land of great importance. Egyptian witch. A man decided to visit a cave to see the ancient witch that is believed to be living there. At first, he was disappointed to have not spotted anything, but on his way back, he was shocked to see a creature sitting on the abandoned side of the mountain. The creature, or must I say the womanly beast wearing black clothes, had a strange appearance. Holding a stick made of animal skull, the cryptid's face was all covered. Furious for being followed by the man, the witch went inside, and even from a distance, it was clear that she was casting some sort of spell. Clearly for this reason, as she didn't want the boy to leave there alive. Lady Rye. A perfect example of embalming for the archaeologists. This is Lady Rye, discovered in 1881. She is believed to have died at 40 years of age, and is usually referred to as the oldest mummy which has ever been found. But other than being the oldest lady, Rye's body holds so many fascinating features. Her body was at first covered in linen clothing, and then for preservation, the people had used a mixture of resin and sand, which had helped in keeping the corpse intact. And her CT scan revealed that she had been suffering from atherosclerosis, which led to her death, a disease quite common in people from that age. Gowned man. Why is it always that in the darkest of nights, people decide to explore the creepiest of places? Well, there, right there, stands the answer to our question. While visiting the ancient detention center that was actually built to imprison the old criminals, hearing some weird voices, the visitors were sure that there was something strange going on in there. But, well, whatever it was, didn't give the people any time to react, as it popped right in front of them. Wearing a long white gown. Because the video cuts right there, nothing much is known of the eerie gowned man. But what do you think it actually was? Mystery creature. When caught on camera, a mysterious creature with a pale color was caught walking on an empty road at night. It was about 2 meters tall and was walking while scooching over. It had a human head, but relatively skinny body. And as soon as the video went viral, it started a debate among the paranormal enthusiasts. Some say it is a hoax, while others believe the video shows they have spotted similar things around their houses. But because the exact location of the creature was not known, nothing much about it was revealed. So, was it a ghost, a mummy, or an alien caught wandering? Cave ghost. Feeling that something is not right with the place, the man started recording to get proof of what he was seeing. It was wearing a white cape-like clothing and kept encountering the man, probably signaling him to go back. And there it was, a little far, but a creature with no legs and presumably no bones was caught at an abandoned place and strolling there for some time. The ghost-like creature went straight into the wall and disappeared. Because the video cuts there, not much is known about the creature. But do let me know what you think of this flying ghost. Seti the Mummy. Lying in the National Museum of Egypt, Seti's mummy has gained much importance for the last few years, as researchers have found something that has been keeping the mummy intact for years. Other than being usually packed and mummified like the rest, it looks like the ancient Egyptians used to be quite advanced in plastic surgery, as they have applied filters on the cheekbones and even on the head. That's how, even after being decapitated by some robbers 3,000 years ago, the mummy, covered in lots of clothing, still lies in the museum, as fresh as it can be. Inside the pyramids. Compared to our little knowledge, there are way more mysteries that the pyramids contain. Just like this beauty. Well, she's the beauty of the mummy's world. Officials said that when they discovered her and opened her coffin, she was wearing a gold crown on her head and jewelry as well. And because the lady was not identified, the fact that she was buried in an elite place and gold finery was buried along her determines the rank she belonged to. But there was something strangely unique in her, as the lady was not buried with her original eyes, but they had been replaced by wooden eyes that were carved exactly like real ones. Miniature coffins. While digging up a tomb of an ancient king in Egypt, the archaeologists came across the tiniest coffins, and inside them laid the tiniest mummies of stillborn babies of the king. Though the scientists know that such mutations and stillbirths were common in the ancient world, they were still investigating the fact that these two baby girls were born along with their father. But it was after some time they got to know that being buried along with girls was considered a luck charm, as the ancient people used to believe the girls and women as their protectors that would guide them in their afterlives. Oldest mummy. This 300-year-old mummy was found in the year 2020 and was believed to be something out of this world. Though the corpse was not present in its original form and was distorted from several parts, the researchers consider it a present from the past. The corpse was male with a height of 1.5 meters, covered in several pieces of clothes that were strongly tied with the corpse. The inside of the body looked like it was cremated before burial, but not just a single dead body, but several cremated parts of human bodies were also placed inside the coffin, which made the discovery even more suspicious. Underwater mysteries. Hiding underneath the water, the recent finds in an Egyptian city are not something you would see every day, as they belong to different parts of history. At one side of the Mediterranean Sea, archaeologists found the remains of a 2,200-year-old shipwreck that was struck by the giant blocks of a large temple from the city that had already sunk in the water before. And on the other side, they have also found an ancient burial ground from where different kinds of decorated pottery and gold amulets under the water were believed to be 2,400 years old. An archaeologist, while exploring the Great Pyramids of Egypt, had this strange experience. While going down through a wooden ladder, the man felt a strange movement deep down, so he paused there for a while. And there it was, a wild creature resembling a wolf and containing Satan horns on his head was approaching the archaeologists. Unable to identify it, he quickly ran towards the top, leaving the beast far behind in the tunnel. Though nothing much was revealed by them, it's believed that the tunnel was later filled with mud to secure the researchers from any danger. Let me know what you think of this strange discovery.
Forests are beyond trees and wild animals, but a place where dangerous mythical creatures are known to take refuge. From mysterious creatures in the dark to completely unrecognizable forces in broad daylight, these are some of the most disturbing creatures ever to be caught on the trail camera. Skeleton with glowing eyes. Either this is a prison escapee or a good old ghost. A group of young hikers who were out on a camping trip in Casanino National Forest, Arizona. While exploring the forest, they noticed a troubled-looking man sitting beside a narrow stream of water. To get a better look at it, the light was focused on it, to which it reacted by suddenly turning and staring at them. It had a shaved head with a skinny body, almost as if it were a Halloween skeleton. No matter how dark it gets, human eyes do not glow or reflect light, which clearly shows that this was no human, but a skeleton ghost. Glowing-eyed mummy chase. Just by looking at the glowing eyes, you can know this certainly is no hoax. In September 2019, two colleagues were returning from work in their car when a manly figure in the dark started sprinting parallel to them. Seconds later, the ghostly figure closed in towards the light, revealing its final form. It seemed to look like a mummy with glowing eyes and an incredible speed. First, it got closer to them and then attempted to jump into the vehicle when the driver was able to speed away. This certainly could not be a human, but a mummy that may have gotten possessed by a supernatural entity. Ghost attempts to hide. Either this ghost dozed off into the water or it was attempting to hide itself. A trail camera planted on a bridge next to a haunted house captured footage of a ghost that tripped into a small stream. The camera was placed in the area to investigate the cause of disturbance in the area in the dead of night. After reviewing the footage, many believe that this would rather be a cause of a young woman being possessed by a ghost. Flying humanoid. If the furry humanoids weren't spooky enough, you now have one that can fly. Two young boys, while playing in the backyard of a farm in Kent, United Kingdom, noticed a weird-looking hive. With their father filming the video, they got closer to the hive when a flying bug came out of the hive. At first, it was thought to be a firefly or a dragonfly, but seconds later they could notice that this bug is humanoid. From arms to legs, it had a body structure completely similar to that of a human with wings to fly. As it came flying out, the father and the kids reacted by fleeing away. Since the footage has gone viral, many call it a real-life fairy. Forest zombie. This looks to be either a zombie or a clown, or perhaps both. After numerous reports of something haunting a small part of a forest in Ontario, Canada, paranormal investigators decided to investigate. After several hours of searching, they weren't able to find any ghosts, but rather a zombified being that was stalking them from a distance. Upon one of the paranormal investigators spotting this haunting figure, it quickly escaped behind the tree and into the darkness. It had sparkly eyes, clown-like makeup, sharp reflexes, and not to mention huge in size. Imagine the horror of such a nightmare ambushing you. Jungle Highway Crawler. Choosing a highway to crawler in the middle of a forest is probably the worst place to be around for creeping onto someone. Only a few days ago, a transport driver, while passing through the dense Valdivian temperate rainforest road, came across a naked-looking crawler in the middle of the road. It looked to be quite skinny, as a frame of moving skeleton with a very bleak face and hair, although it remained mostly stationary. But according to the driver, it was too eager to get closer. The driver, who turned around for alternate route out of fear of his safety, was criticized by many for not helping a possible man in distress. Sword Hand Skeleton. Something as scary as this surely redefines the notion of haunting spirits in graveyards. With the appearance of a sharp footstep-like trail all around the cemetery, gravediggers decided to place a trail camera, hoping to find some answers. To their surprise, a disturbing-looking rake being was caught on camera as it was passing by the graves using its sword-like limbs to move. Its body was merely a dark shade of skeleton. While many consider it a rogue ghost, some call it to be a case of reincarnation or a dead man walking. Humpy Ghost. It's probably the hump that may have gotten it not so mobile. A group of friends who were lighting up firecrackers to celebrate the 4th of July when they were interrupted by a high-pitched guttural cry. Curious for answers, they decided to investigate the noise. While passing through the trees, they were abruptly stopped after spotting what looks to be a weird, humpy entity in the dark. Since the idea of getting closer for identification wasn't an option, they decided to lobby a flying firecracker in its direction before running away.
Get the hell out of here.
Many take it to be a case of a drugged-up human, but whatever it was surely is a terrifying sight to behold. Dark Furry Monster. This particular dark furry monster may initially seem like a man wearing a Halloween costume until you look closely at its eyes. Two explorers, while passing through the forest of northern Iran, spotted an eerie hiding behind the bushes. Due to the pitch darkness of the night, they were forced to get closer to it to investigate. While preaching religious chants, they were to get close, but still could barely see it. It had a dirty fur-like coat with incredibly white eyes that were visible. Due to lack of light and fear of the unknown, they weren't able to get a good look at it despite being spitting distance away from it. Tall, furry humanoid. The bigger and furrier it is, the more concerning it gets. After dozens of reports of a tall, furry, human-like figure being noticed in a woods near Winnipeg, a former canine expert was hired by wildlife experts to find and investigate. The canine tracker, after hours of attempting to find the rumored humanoid, was about to call it a day until the notorious being made a sudden appearance as it passed by the tree. The tracker attempted to get a closer look at it, but his dog refused to join into the pursuit, creating a moment of confusion that aided in the humanoid's escape. Fortunately, a camera was installed on the dog harness, which captured the first ever glimpse of this rumored being. Slender Man. In 2018, two friends and a little girl were traveling across states when they bumped into an abnormality, tall and suspicious-looking man referred to as the Slender Man. The Slender Man appeared in the middle of them, making the driver turn off-road and into the grass before stopping. Seconds later, the camera blacked out and started recording once again, showing the Slender Man walking in the woods with the little girl. One of the two friends went missing, while the other was able to find the little girl with a note left behind probably by the Slender Man. Till date, authorities haven't been able to figure out who or where this tall being came from. Creepy cryptid encounter. Is this a bird of some kind or just a horribly looking rodent? While out for an adventure, a tourist encountered a creepy looking animal that was hiding behind a dried up tree trunk in the Appalachian Mountains of North America. Its face looked as if it were deformed with something like a beak on the face. The intentions of this animal were unclear, as it never moved much besides keeping the eyes locked onto the recorder. With the behavior as such, the tourist described it to be an unrecognizable animal that was later pronounced to be a cryptid. Skinwalker attack in woods. If you hear an unsettling humming sound, it's probably for the best to stand clear of it. A man, while driving on the outskirts of Montana, stopped for a cigarette break when he heard a very unsettling humming sound all of a sudden. Out of curiosity, the man entered the woods to find the source of the sound when a skinny, fast-moving skinwalker appeared from nowhere in pursuit of the man, almost as if it were a predator. What happened next remains a mystery. However, the fact that this video made it to the internet shows that the man who recorded the footage may have survived. Alien Scout. The appearance of the UFOs and alien sightings such as these are surely not a mere coincidence. A couple, along with their neighbors, were camping nearby the Big Bear Lake in California when a tiny possum-like being made a sudden appearance, catching them all by surprise. According to the witnesses, it had a physical appearance similar to that of a fictional character, Dobby from the Harry Potter movies, but was a bit too green. As the wildlife experts are trying to make sense of the incident, many debated that this could be an alien scout, especially due to a UFO sighting the previous day. Cryptid caught on camera. Cryptid or not, even they tend to make mistakes and get seen. An explorer, while placing his trail camera in a mountain forest somewhere in the United States, found a mysterious shadowy figure. It was seen curiously peeking out from next to a broad tree trunk and got caught on the camera that was still recording. Although it didn't show any sinister intentions, the cameraman quickly ran away from the area. The fact that the nature of this being is unknown and you never know what it might be capable of, he instinctively decided to run away. The figure remains a complete mystery, despite widespread online exposure. Crooked-faced walker. This is one of those times when something fictional becomes a reality. Residents from a small town in Wisconsin reported numerous appearances of this crooked-faced walker, which has a resemblance to a mythical character called the Spirit Walker. Locals would often wear costumes depicting the walker until it actually started appearing after dark at festivals and community events. So much so that it was locally known as the Spirit of Bizarre. It has a body structure similar to that of a man with extremely long, bony arms, all covered in a suit and a mask. The footage was taken by one of the cameras that was placed to get a closer view at it. Shady Beast. With little to no trees around, the chances of it being a monkey is next to impossible. A footage captured in a woodland area in Nebraska shows a troubled-looking individual that was spotted by passerby as it appeared out from behind the grass. The author of the video at first thought it to be a monkey in distress or an animal of some kind, until it got closer and up on its hind, revealing its terrifying face as it began chasing. The recorder described it to have a beastly appearance, which, after video getting viral, was later nicknamed as the Shady Beast. Catching birds for dinner. A simple fact that gorillas are not known to hunt birds is enough to say that this isn't something normal. A video recorded in March 2016 by a fisherman who was returning from a catch shows a huge furry animal on top of a pole. This furry animal was attempting to catch seagulls flying nearby. Upon capturing one of them, it started bashing the seagull aggressively on the pole, presenting its incredible strength, and started eating minutes later. As it was able to climb tall, narrow poles easily, many speculated that it could be a gorilla, but honestly, it seems like a really hungry Bigfoot. Groot-like creature. If Groot has an evil twin, this probably has to be it. A Virginia family of 3 went out for trekking in the nearby forest where they noticed a tall, dark man-like tree that also happened to be staring at them. The parents commented that they felt like being followed by an unknown stalker hours after entering the forest. Coincidentally, they happened to notice the same tree, despite moving for several hours, which raised their suspicion. Interestingly, the tree creature didn't seem to have any footsteps left behind and remained stationary until it was seen moving slowly. Could it be that a tree somehow came to life, or is it an outer Earth visitor? Giant Tarzan. A sighting such as this is probably a dream come true for all the Tarzan fans. A construction worker in Minnesota, while on a break, saw that this very tall man, who was caught by the magnificence of modern construction, it looked almost naked, covered only by a dark piece of clothing with a height twice to that of an average person. As one of the construction workers riding on his bicycle passed by that point, this real-life Tarzan suddenly disappeared. Since the footage was taken from quite a distance, the tall man wasn't identified properly. Caned Ghost Yoda. Facing off a pissed Yoda is more dangerous than all other scary creatures in the dark. A cowboy on a horse was passing through woods while looking at some missing cattle, bumped into a tiny being having similarity to that of a Yoda from Star Wars. This Yoda, resembling a ghost, was running towards the cowboy while aggressively stabbing its sharp cane on the ground. It began to gain pace upon closing in, and due to the fear of the unknown, the man responded by fleeing. While the actual intentions of the caned ghost Yoda may remain a mystery, it definitely couldn't be any good. Aggressive Yeti. What could be scarier than being killed by a Yeti? It's having one to trip and fall onto you. In January 2021, 2 friends out on a 3-day hiking adventure came across some way scarier than your typical wild animal, a Yeti. The Yeti appeared out of nowhere and started inspecting their backpacks when they returned back to their base camp with firewood. During the unwarranted inspection, the Yeti unknowingly pepper sprayed itself in the eyes. It began to panic aggressively. It got so aggressive that it nearly fell on the hikers before stumbling down the hilly terrain. Bigfoot with glowing eyes. Maybe this Bigfoot was just showing off its sparkling eyes. A TikToker, while out in the Canadian woods for a video, had a close call with this giant gorilla-like creature with exceptionally bright eyes. At first, it was thought of being some gorilla, until after it came closer while passing by. Being caught in fear and confusion, he decided to film the incident. To get answers, the video was uploaded on social media, where many called it a Bigfoot, and that this might be the closest ever encounter with one of them. The TikToker definitely was fortunate enough that the Bigfoot didn't display any predatory behavior. Naked man. A hunter while passing past a forest nearby Tomorrow World area when he heard someone calling at him for help. Upon looking down, he noticed a man with not a stitch of clothing on him standing by the creek along with a walking cane. While maintaining distance, the naked man claimed that he had been robbed, beaten up, and stripped of all clothing by bullies during the music festival before being dropped in the woods. After days of trying to survive, he decided to stick next to the creek. The hunter managed to get a number of the naked man's next of kin to get in touch so they could come and get him. This picture was captured by a lost traveler who was passing through a forest in New Zealand on June 10, 2021. The traveler, while stopping to rest for the night, was disturbed by a terrifying zombie-like cry not too far from his location. In hopes to offer help, he called closer to the source of the sound, only to find its point of origin from something that looked unlike any known human. Seconds after the encounter, the traveler immediately decided to flee for his life. After several minutes of running away, the recorder hid himself under a tree bark and decided to remain stationary till dawn, leaving having this picture, the only clear view of this being. Paranormal creature climbing. Something so dark and tiny as this rules out the possibility of it being a burglar. A security camera placed opposite to a villa in a rural area of Karnataka, India, shows a black child-sized creature that crawls next to the villa until it starts climbing up. Locals believe it to be the spirit of a young child that once lived in the house to be returning, while others believe it to be a djinn. Whatever this may have been, it was surely sneaky enough to get past the guard that was sleeping in a chair facing right in front of this paranormal being. Dead alienoid. Alien or not, death surely doesn't spare anyone. Texas farmers who had lost several of their chickens due to numerous animal attacks decided to lay down a bait to draw out the animal. Upon doing so, they noticed a very unusual looking animal in the fields who took the bait in a manner similar to the attack on the chickens. One of the farmers, either pissed or terrified of this alienoid, fired at it, but it managed to escape. After following the bloody trail closely, the alien animal was later found dead next to a tiny bush after having bled out due to the critical wound.
See him above there, by the trees.
With the proliferation of cameras just about everywhere, more and more weird stuff is captured by the camera's all-seeing lens. From freaky, wild creatures of dark nights to the oddly mythical figures of woods, while others are totally unbelievable. Here's the most disturbing trail cam footage that no one was supposed to see. Disappearing man. Imagine installing a camera to capture some wild moments on a snowy night, but you come across this. A bizarre hunched-over figure with glowing eyes suddenly emerged from the dark and could be seen running to the left side of the ground, and then disappeared instantly. Nowhere. It might have merged into thin air. Was it really a ghoul captured running at midnight, or was it just a hoax? To me, there was something really mysterious, as the dog sitting in the corner could be noticed turning its head in the direction of the running figure. What do you guys think? Extraterrestrial creature. Deer, coyotes, or naughty raccoons. This is all that you expect to see in your trail cam footage. But a trail cam installed in the woods of Australia captured something absolutely terrifying. From behind one of the trees appeared some mysterious lights. However, the zoomed-in footage displayed the mystifying lights were actually the eyes of an odd-shaped creature that was trying to peek directly into the camera. At first, it might look like a kid in a costume, but the weird glowing eyes didn't seem like a humanoid trait. Then, was that something really that we should call an extraterrestrial, or just another unidentified creature? Share your thoughts by commenting below. Monster stalking a moose. This video, posted in August 2018, sent cold chills among internet users, as it displays a strange creature peeking from behind one of the trees in the middle of a haunted forest. The resource person of this clip claimed to witness this monstrous creature many times before that, and called it a rake because it has a human-like appearance and usually attacks people walking alone in the woods. But this time, it looks like the spooky, pale creature has targeted the huge moose, as it was filmed stalking the animal that was busy grazing in that haunted forest. Masked man. The hunters set their cameras to get information about animals they can hunt. However, sometimes their search for a new species could end up in an unexplainable fear. A trail cam footage posted a few months back shows a strange figure coming out of the dense forest. It is really hard to state what that creature might be, but as it walked eerily with its bent legs, and also the face was covered with a strange mask, some people thought it could be a publicity stunt. But everything about this image is terrifying, as we have no idea where this figure came from or why he was wandering on his knees at midnight. Bigfoot under the nest. In September 2016, a trail cam installed somewhere in the woods of Michigan State to film tiny eaglets captured something really spooky. Initially, all went well, as the camera placed right above the nest was filming the adorable bird moments. Then, suddenly, from behind one of the trees below the nest appeared a black bipedal creature that walked away. However, due to the blurred image, it's hard to identify the creature, but many people stated that it was a Bigfoot, as nothing huge and bulky was ever spotted in that area before. Do you guys also think it was a Bigfoot? Please let us know by commenting below. Peeking alien. Watching this clip will surely prevent you from planning late-night camping, especially in the middle of the spooky forest. While burning a fire to keep the wild critters away from their tents, a group of friends heard some mysterious noise in the dark. Thinking of any forest resident, one of the guys tossed the fire in front of the tree, yet he was not expecting to come across this. A tiny, gray cryptid with pointed fingers was trying to get warmth while hiding behind the tree, and quickly moved back as the man filming it tried to get a closer look. Unfortunately, nothing could be stated exactly about the figure, but to me, it looked like an alien. Weird man in the forest. Let me show you another disturbing clip of the day, as it involves a couple of friends who stumbled upon something really spooky while walking in the forest at night. Standing alone in the middle of the path was a strange guy in white who started to communicate with them.
Ryan?
Is that you?
Is that you?
Yeah, it is.
Prove it?
Prove it?
Yeah, prove it.
Thinking of their lost friend, when one of the guys asked that boy to prove his identity, he suddenly changed his shape and voice and vanished back into the dark, just like a creepy ghoul.
I don't know where this thing is, or when it's gonna...
Although one of the guys tried to chase him, they couldn't get any other clue. And since that time, the truth behind the creepy guy has become an unsolved mystery. Unknown beast in the backyard. Filmed at an unknown location, the camera captured a bizarre figure peeking from behind the wall on the side of the pool. Initially, it looked like a man trying to get inside, but when the footage was zoomed in, it started looking less like a human. In fact, the way it looked around and managed to jump back didn't seem human at all. Many claimed it could be a midnight ghost, while others simply stated that it was nothing but a bear. Well, if any of you know better, do write us in the comment section. Humo crab. While enjoying the bonfire in the middle of the thick woods, a group of friends got the biggest shock of their life when they decided to look for the girl who went away to make a call. Searching around for the girl, they were stunned to find her lying numb in front of a tree, and then suddenly, from behind one of the bushes, a creepy creature jumped out. With multiple limbs attached to a human body, that unidentified being seemed to be a human crab-type creature. Although this clip stopped without any proper ending, these few terrifying minutes are enough to make you think twice the next time you set up a plan for camping. Bigfoot encounter. It's okay to find animals in the woods, but it's definitely not okay to find monstrous creatures right in front of the camera. While chasing a deer to get a closer look, another couple of campers were shocked to find a huge beast behind the trees. At first, they took it as a bear, but it was all until the dark creature stood up. With its dark body and giant features, it looked right at them and tried to get close. Fortunately, they both managed to escape, leaving their tent. In fact, everything behind. Many speculated it to be a huge bear, but according to those guys, it was an actual Bigfoot. Cryptic being. According to an old saying, forests are actually haunted by werewolves and witches that come out at night. But this time, it looks like one of the evil spirits has decided to make an appearance in daytime. Filmed at an unknown location, this video shows a car being driven in the middle of a forest, and suddenly, the driver noticed a strange, small creature standing on the roadside. Apparently, it looked like a small animal, but upon getting closer, it turned out to be a short, faceless figure who was busy in some kind of sinister activity, but suddenly ran back after watching a car approaching it. Is it really a cryptic being, or just a hoax? Any ideas? Sasquatch spotted in Russia. This short clip of just 16 seconds includes the craziest moment no one could have ever seen. Recorded by an unknown source somewhere in Russia in 2011, this clip shows a closer look of the most discussed mythical beast. A huge hairy body and long arms, it really looked like a real Sasquatch. No more details could be stated about the creature, as the guy filming it seemed to be scared of the thing. Yet the perfect humanoid walk pointed toward the legendary Sasquatch, as it could be seen quickly walking through the woods after realizing it was being filmed. Unidentified hairy monster. Exploring the woods to learn more about the forest, two young students felt some movements behind the trees. Looking deeper into the bushes, they came across an unidentified creature that initially looked like a wild critter that was hiding beneath the woods, yet suddenly stood up and stared at the curious visitors. Terrifying is all that can be said about this footage, because nothing much could be explained about the creature, as they had to escape hurriedly after watching the beast heading toward them. Eerie giant figure. Humanoid walk, giant body, and long, heavy arms. Another legendary creature of all time was filmed strolling fearlessly on snowy ground. The video, after being posted, grabbed a lot of attention from internet users, as many took it as an alleged Sasquatch sighting. But since the video wasn't very clear, a few claimed it was actually a guy struggling to hike on the hill covered with snow, and was misunderstood for his strange walk. Really a Sasquatch, or just a misunderstanding? Any guesses from your side? Spooky werewolf. Have you ever been into the woods alone? Well, if not, then you must hold your breath, as this short clip will definitely stop you from doing so. Filmed at an undisclosed location, this footage shows a guy trying to get close to an animal to whom he thought was a grizzly bear. Right at that moment, the beast started running toward him, and the video suddenly ended there, leaving everyone questioning about the beast. There is a possibility of a werewolf sighting, as upon looking at the huge appearance, the creature didn't seem like a bear to me. Creepy skinwalker. It's not always Bigfoot lurking from behind one of the trees, but sometimes there are many other odd beings waiting for us. A couple, while driving in the middle of a forest, decided to stop their car to investigate the animal making weird noises. However, they were left baffled after watching this. From behind one of the bushes, a creepy figure emerged and crossed the bushy path by crawling on its bent legs. Although it was not visible due to the dark, due to its pale, skinny body, it was assumed to be a skinwalker that mostly came out at night to spook the passerby. Mysterious black shadow. Rake crawling in woods. A bizarre trail cam footage quickly went viral as it claimed to show an eerie figure in the middle of the woods. Recorded somewhere in an unrevealed place, the video took a normal start, but then the actual oddity entered the frame from the left side. Crawling on all its fours was an eerie creature that could be seen rambling through the woods, just like a huge, bulky animal. However, the way it stopped and looked around didn't match any animal's traits. Since the footage was recorded from a distance, it's hard to say exactly what could be the creature, but many are speculating it to be the horrific, urban, legendary Rake. Frozen in park. A lady standing still in front of a tree, and another group of people froze while staring oddly. This is not any clip from a sci-fi movie, But this bizarre moment was actually recorded in September 2019 by a family while they were heading toward Niagara Falls. Not just one or two, but a large number of people were spotted standing still around all over the place. What's weirder, more than half were old-aged. With a heart filled with fear, the family left shortly, so nothing more could be stated about it. A glitch in the Matrix, an MK Ultra, or just some kind of publicity stunt to gain fame? I'm not too sure what was actually going on here. Soul left wild boar. This footage might be the rarest one, as it literally shows the most unbelievable and disturbing moment ever recorded. It started with a wild boar strolling normally, and this is exactly what trail cams are meant to record. But within a few seconds, the whole scene changed as the animal falls on the ground and struggled hard to stand back up. And all of a sudden, its body started shivering, and it could be seen shaking its legs, followed by a plume of black smoke that mysteriously arose from its body. And then it became still, although it could be noticed trying to breathe. According to the owner of this footage, the animal was found dead in its place. Headless moose. Another disturbing piece of footage shows a strange animal that was not only weird and frightening, but also very fast. Near a railway track in the middle of the wilderness, a guy was scared to death after watching a strange moose running wildly without any head on its huge body. Since the video is quite blurry, it's difficult to say whether it was an actual headless animal or just a moose running with its head to one side. Many think it's just an edited clip, while others claim it to be an actual headless moose that was running away from its hunters. What do you guys believe? Arrow stuck in deer's head. Survival of an impaired one in the wilderness is actually very challenging. Yet this next clip shows an unfazed deer with an arrow sticking out of its head that was observed doing really well for more than 3 years. The deer was named Carrot after it was spotted lurking in the backyard of a house in Canada and was believed to be a miraculous survivor. Fortunately, the distressing clips of the poor animal hit the internet, and it was soon rescued by wildlife authorities. Two-headed deer.
Two-headed deer.
Have we got you puzzled? At first, I also got confused after watching this bizarre two-headed deer. Look how perfectly both of the heads moved in the same direction. Was this actually a two-headed deer, or just another manipulated clip? Well, after watching this clip more carefully, I reached to a conclusion that those were actually two animals standing in a typical posture, which made them look like one animal with two heads. As the video proceeded, one of the heads could be seen mystically disappearing from the scene, leaving just one complete deer behind. What do you guys say? Deer with a crooked neck. Here we have another strange deer, but this time it was not any optical illusion. But in fact, this deer was actually spotted in an awkward situation, as its head was hanging bizarrely to one side. Though it was observed perfectly walking through the dense bushes, it was unable to lift its head or to move it around. Biologists suspected that it might have broken its spine at a very young age, but somehow managed to survive with its major disability, and was spotted strolling several times in St. Mary's. People called it a crooked-necked deer that was also believed to be a mother of cute little fawns. Living mammoth. Show me something more disturbing than this one. Long, curved tusks, a huge trunk, a fatty hump on a massive woolly body. All these features belong to a living mammoth that was filmed in 1948 in Russia. The great animal from the prehistoric times was actually seen roaming almost 60 years back and was captured during World War II by a German photographer. Although it was quite terrifying to see a living mammoth from the past, many claimed it to be a fake one, while a few are still trying to figure it out. Attacked by wolves. This trail cam footage opens with an adorable moose mother wandering around along with its young calf. Initially, all went well, as the mother moose could be seen protecting its young calf from the wolf. But then suddenly, the video took a horrific turn when the mother turned back and, instead of the wolf, it accidentally kicked its calf in the head. Seeing the calf on the ground, another hungry wolf jumped in to get a bite of the fallen prey. Yet the moose mother kept on protecting its calf from the attacking wolves. However, it's impossible to say whether she was able to protect her young ones or not, as all of the animals went out of sight. Man stalked by lion. Encountering something like this in the woods is definitely a disturbing thing you'll never want to experience. The guy in the image looked excited as he could be seen enjoying his hunt of the day, a giant deer. And behind him is a ferocious predator that was captured stalking the hunter. Unfortunately, we could only get this single image, and I'm not sure if the lion was actually waiting for the deer, or its real target was the hunter. However, later this guy posted another video in which the same lion was observed chasing. This terrifying image was captured by a trail camera, showing a creepy humanoid creature climbing a tree with all 4 of its limbs. The exact location of this image is unknown, but some people claimed it to be captured from the deep Amazon forest, where this guy is believed to be the last remaining member of an isolated tribe in the Brazilian Amazon, and is known as the Man of the Hole. However, according to some, this was actually an ape-like creature that was seen hanging on the trees during the Darrow expedition in 1977. Well, if any of you knows more about it, please let us know by commenting below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.